Well, it's time. Brothers and sisters from around the world, it's time. Time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here this evening as we bring you the Friday edition of The Business. And boy, oh boy, have I got a program for you here tonight. When I first saw this, I said I never laughed about it because it's no laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter because it's not a joke when somebody sits up here and tells you that they want to criminalize your boys for being heterosexual. That's not a joke. That's not funny. That doesn't make me laugh. That doesn't make me giggle. That doesn't just make me shake my head. That makes me fighting mad. When you've transformed your schools and the school-to-prison pipeline, we're now telling the boys that they are guilty of having heterosexual thoughts. But that's how far that the degenerate cesspool dumpster that is Atlanta, Georgia. Let's be very, very clear. Atlanta, Georgia is an open-air sewer. No different than San Francisco and a bunch of other places I could name. But I'm specifically talking about Atlanta in particular here. Your so-called Black Mecca. Your Black Mecca is an open-air sewer. It is not a place that produces anything but sexual degenerates and deviants. And now they've taken it to the point that they are declaring open warfare on your heterosexual sons. Open now. It is no longer clandestine. It is no longer covert. It is now open. There's a story that was on CBS 46, and they were upset over the fact that they online on their own social media, the boys at the school had put together a bracket of the girls that they thought were cute. That's what they did. And of course, as always happens in this modern era now, because you are living under this feminist tyranny, and we shouldn't call it feminist, is female tyranny now. They told the boys that you can't have thoughts. At the school, they're talking about taking criminal action at the schools. And I'm going to go ahead and play the news piece here for you, because I want you to hear what is being done at the corporate level. It's not just the schools, it's the schools and the media complex gotten together on this and declared war. And I'm not being hyperbolic and I'm not exaggerating. Hear it for yourselves.
11 local parents and teens outraged a tournament bracket like this surfaces online, ranking young girls based on their looks. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Gables.
And I'm Rick Fulbaum. And tonight, Grady High School is responding, offering counseling for students. CBS 46's Sierra Cummings live at Grady High School tonight. Sierra, this may seem like a joke, but the school board is saying it's anything but.
Yeah, that's exactly why the counseling sessions start here tomorrow. There's also a pending investigation. Now, the bracket ranking even prompted discussions of bullying, sexual harassment, and even assault. The principal now encouraging families to take those types of concerns to local law enforcement.
First of all, it's not right. You know, every woman is beautiful in their own way.
This letter went home to Grady High School parents like Nike Manson. She's now talking about the incident with her son.
It ranks them as who's pretty and who's not pretty, and all girls are pretty.
The mom wants to educate her teen on the impact of the so-called bracket ranking of Grady High schoolers.
Actually putting down girls. You know, you're putting down their feelings, you're putting down their thoughts, their interests. How they feel and look about themselves.
Students confirm a group of male juniors took to social media to rate dozens of girls based on their appearance. While the spring break postings may have seemed like a joke, the district calls it anything but. The principal wrote the event is a symptom of a larger ill within our society, claiming young men believe they have the license to objectify, demean, and even assault.
Some girls, you know, young women, they may feel insecure of themselves.
The confidence crusher comes at a fragile time. Parents saying high school is tough enough for kids. While leaders continue to investigate, folks like mom Nike Manson expect one thing at the very least.
I think they should owe the girls an apology.
CBS 46 in Atlanta. This is what they're doing there. This is what they're saying there. CBS 46 in Atlanta. I want you to be very, very clear about what we're talking about here. You heard it with your own ears. They are telling you that they want to criminalize boys expressing their preference in girls. I mean, they've gone beyond suggesting chivalry. They are now demanding outright male intellectual servitude. And of course, this ratty ass, worn out, alley cat looking hood rat, tatted up, hood ratted up and everything else in her Dodge Nitro, is sitting up here telling you that she has a son. Yeah, you have a son but no husband. You have a son but no husband. And she wants to teach her son that all girls are pretty. Well, if you're going to say that all girls are pretty, then you need to also, are you going to teach your son that all guys are nice? If all girls are pretty, then all guys are nice. All guys are useful. You can't tell a guy that he's not useful. All guys are useful. So you have to understand, this is the ugly girls of the world, the ugly chicks of the world are uniting. That's why I'm telling you about this. The ugly chicks are uniting and telling everybody that you've just got to go along with whatever they say, no matter how insane it is now. They're really trying to see just how far they can push the envelope into bullying, because there's only one set of bullies here, and it's the females and their school that has said, hey, we see an opportunity to victimize. We see an opportunity to victimize. So we're going to see if we can go for it. Now, there's a lot here to unpack, and there's a lot here to take a look at. And fortunately for you, you do have an individual qualified to do this. So, fortunately, we're going to break this down for you properly and make sure that you have all the relevant facts. Now, in case you missed it here, when they were sitting there talking, they were talking about a letter that was sent out by the school. And that letter is pretty important. That letter is actually pretty important. And I couldn't show it to you there on the screen before, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you now, because that letter is truly at the heart of the matter. It really, really is. Might not be zoomed in very much for you all there, but that's quite all right, because I'll be taking care of the duties here of deciphering and reading it for you. It says, Henry W. Grady High School, Betsy Bachman, PhD, Principal, making a difference. Dear Grady community, over the weekend, we learned that while off campus on spring break, so they're already starting here telling you that as boys, you don't have any independent rights, that the school now, apparently the school owns your rights. So that you're never off school campus. You are a subject and a ward of the school. If this happened off school, usually the schools are trying to take no responsibility. It happened off of school grounds, so it's not up to us. Y'all need to go take care of that over there. But what they're telling you is that, oh, even though you're not at school, we still want to have control over you. Over the weekend, we learned that while off campus on spring break, they were on vacation from school, and now the school wants to sit up here and start dictating what happens on your vacation. A small group of Grady students created a basketball tournament-style bracket and briefly posted it on social media. The bracket contained the names of numerous female Grady students. The social media post was captured by many members of the Grady community and reposted as community members shared their outrage regarding the bracket. Now, this is the principal characterizing this as outrage. We share your feelings of disappointment and outrage regarding this incident. We strongly condemn this behavior that objectifies and disrespects young women. Isn't Atlanta the stripper capital of America? I mean, outside of Vegas, I guess. Isn't Atlanta the young girl runaway stripper capital of America? Are you serious? Are you people sharing this program tonight? I need people sharing this. I don't need people just talking. I don't need people just sitting. I need people sharing this program tonight. So to my mods and everybody else, we need to share this. You know, YouTube is going to try to bury it. They're going to try to suppress it. I need y'all on deck. I need you on deck. Share this. Share this. Because you're going to learn a lot tonight. Since I am one of the few black investigative journalists you're going to have in this country who's actually qualified to do it, you're going to learn a lot tonight. So just strap in and hang on. It says, as we have been investigating the matter, we have heard from many current and former Grady students have stated that this event is a symptom of a larger ill within our society that manifests itself in Grady culture. Young men believe they have license to objectify, demean, and even assault young women. Now, where the hell did you get that idea? That they have the idea that the young men believe they have a license to objectify, demean, and assault young women? And why is it only a young men issue? Shouldn't it be a people issue? Because these folks love to remove genders. Now, all of a sudden, whenever they have a chance to attack black males, they go for it, even when they have to fabricate something. They go on to say, we are grateful to all of the current and former students who have come forward to discuss this, and we are committed to working with students holistically in order to change this aspect of school culture. Additionally, this incident has been sparked. This is the principal now. I'm reading what she said. Additionally, this incident has been sparked a whirlwind of activity on social media. So she's here to correct everybody else and can't even damn well can't even compose a proper letter. So, okay. All right, fine. Additionally, this incident has been sparked a whirlwind of activity on social media. Some of this has opened productive dialogue, some of it has not. Please consider the proper channels to address such serious allegations as bullying, sexual harassment, assault, and worse assault. There are extremely serious allegations. These are extremely serious allegations that must be properly investigated and addressed. Incidents that happen outside of school and unrelated to school activities must be investigated by local law enforcement. So here's your principal at Grady, and yes, we all know the name Grady. Here's your principal at Grady, who is sitting up here outright telling you that, oh, we need to get this school to prison pipeline. If you've been trying to deconstruct it, here's my suggestions on how you can reconstruct it. If they're trying to tear down the school to prison pipeline, I got a few suggestions. The principal here has a few suggestions about how you can rebuild that son of a gun. Incidents that occur on campus or during school-sponsored activities will be investigated by the school, and students should contact their assistant principals to initiate an investigation. Contact information is below. You know, when your parents want to know what the teachers have not been doing, and we all know that's endemic in the Atlanta school district, you can't get nobody to answer the phone. But when it comes to getting your children in legal trouble, all of a sudden, these folks are all types of helpful. Isn't that ironic? Isn't it ironic? She goes on to say, we take this incident and the culture within which it exists very seriously and continue to investigate the matter. The students who created the bracket will be held accountable for their actions to the extent of the APS Code of Conduct. But they were not on school grounds. They were on their own personal time. How in the hell can you sit up here and say they'll be held responsible for what they did at home on their own time? What happened to right to privacy? The school doesn't have any business talking about their right to privacy. In any case, matters of discipline are confidential. We are also committed to supporting any student who was hurt or feels victimized by these actions. How about infringing on the free speech rights of these young men? I'm sure they're hurt about that right there. How about not infringing on their right to free speech and freedom of expression? Grady's professional school counselors are available to provide one-on-one support, and we also have on-site counseling available. Again, contact information is below. We cannot change Grady's culture without changing the culture in which it exists. We encourage families to have conversations about why this behavior is inappropriate and the implications, both long and short term, of poor decisions regarding social media. We'll continue to address this within the Grady cluster. In this endeavor, we have several sessions for students scheduled for Friday and Wednesday. Please check the Grady calendar for the specific links and topic information. Now, I could say many things to you right now. I could tell you all many things about this. I could say many things to you about this letter that I just read to you. But I will only say to you this. This letter was written by Principal Betty Bachman, PhD. And this is Dr. Betsy Bachman, PhD, principal of Henry Grady High School. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you want to know why they call us the black media, it is because we don't sit up here and miss the facts or the critical information that you need. So first of all, this is the principal of the school. This is the woman who is going to be looking at all these young, who sees this as an opportunity to seize upon, to persecute and literally prosecute young black boys for being heterosexual. If you want to know why it is that so many of us do not want these young black children around these white supremacist school teachers and administrators, these LGBT ones, if you want to know what the problem is, here it is right here. Here it is right here. If you are wondering to yourself what type of psychotic, deviant individual would have come up with something like this and suggesting to people that there's something wrong with boys being heterosexual, well, here she is. Now, does she look like, from what you just heard, if you want to know where the assault on black male heterosexuality comes in the schools, of effeminizing the boys, destroying them, attacking them, if you want to know who it is who's doing it, here's the villain. Here it is. Everything that we have warned you all about why we don't want to leave them around our children. Here it is. This is why we don't want these individuals, I won't dare call them people, teaching our young black boys, being anywhere around them. Because in their minds, the schools are simply preparation for prison. And now she's trying something daring. This is a social experiment to sit here and say, well, let me see if I can find a way to get you all to co-sign a school to prison pipeline. By taking something that has nothing to do with the school. She's got no comment on this. She's got no jurisdiction, but she's saying, well, I don't, but give me some. For the purposes of punishing, give me some so I can victimize your children. Give me some powers so I can do that. Give me that. And then give me a hood rat. Give me a beat down, broken down, cast off hood rat. As she drives her Jeep Compass. Take a look at the seat back there. She's got her little Jeep Compass. Yeah, go ahead and we'll get a little hood rat up here and she'll co-sign it. She'll co-sign it. Don't worry, we don't actually need widespread approval. Just give me one or two people and I'll swear that they represent the community. And don't worry, I'll take it from there. So if you all want to know who is spearheading this, when you're turning on the news, see how deceptive this is. You turn on the news and there's Sean Gables. Sean Gables, who has never been a contestant for not being one of the cutest folk in the room. But she's getting older now, isn't she? So it sounds like she's getting a little defensive. And the reporter here, Ciara Cummings, well, I guess she was so much venom and vitriol. She was just spitting mad doing this story. Yeah, the chicks who aren't really the prime picks, they're letting everybody know, hey, this is Revenge of the Ugly Girls. I mean, this is just revenge of the ugly girls. We've never gotten the shine we should have gotten. We've never gotten the male support that we feel we should have gotten. So just damn all you males. Damn you. Damn you. Then they'll sit there in Atlanta and be upset because so many of the males are effeminized. They'll be complaining about all the males are gay. Yeah, but then you sat up here and co-signed and helped this evil, racist, white supremacist dog piece of filth to sit up here and do what she's doing. And then you'll turn right around and complain. You'll complain that all the men's is gay out here. All the men's is gay. Yeah, you'll complain about that and then go turn around and support somebody trying to victimize the boys when they're not. This is what you're up against. So I didn't just come here tonight to spew vitriol, and I didn't just come here tonight to say a couple of pithy little comments and it sounds kind of cute and everything. I didn't come here tonight for that. I came, I did the digging, I did the investigation, I went into it further, so that people who don't live in Atlanta can be fully informed as to why this has happened the way that it has. So you're not just sitting here wondering about it, you are fully informed about what we do and what the situation is that you're really looking at. So see this for what it is. This is nothing short of an outright assault on the boys, on the heterosexual boys. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing warned us that they were going to go from suggesting that it's cute for your boys to wear a dress to demanding, and now your local Chant TV station trying to dictate that your boys are better off wearing dresses. Now, notice they are not doing this at the white schools. With the white boys, it's boys will be boys. With the white boys, it'll be boys will be boys. If there are any white boys at this school, they're not going to talk to them. For them, it'll just be boys will be boys. This would never have made the news. The principal of the school never would have said anything if it was a school full of white kids. If it was a school full of white kids, this never would have been an issue. But they see an opportunity to target young black males. That's the issue. They see an opportunity to target young black males, and they're going for it. And they're going for it. Some people will think that I'm exaggerating when I say this. No, that's not at all what I'm doing. Not at all what I'm doing. These are the straight facts, and you all heard it for yourselves. This so-called principal sat up here and outright said, you need to contact law enforcement. We're investigating. We're going to take action. There's nothing for you to take action on. This didn't happen on school grounds. It's none of your business. Yes, but you see, if we have an opportunity to, I at least have an opportunity as principal to demonize heterosexual black males. Because you see, the state should be father. You see, I don't want your boys growing up to resist white supremacy. So if we effeminize them, then they will not take on the masculine role of protector and provider, chief and foremost protector. So if we effeminize them, they will not protect themselves. Therefore, the most aggressive people in the society would be who? The police, the military, and the politicians. So they take on the role of the alphas. And your boys, your sons, are their servants. That's what happens. They become your servants. So if you all want to know what the psychology is behind it and what happens, that's what occurs. Everyone listening here right now, I need you to share tonight's program. You know that YouTube buries it. They bury it because they don't want this getting out. They don't want getting out what I'm about to say next. If you or someone you know is one of the students at this school, and if the school threatens them, threatens to harass them or whatever, I want you to get them in touch with me. I want you to get them in touch with me. This is a freedom of speech issue, but furthermore, this is a freedom issue. You are not going to tell these black boys that you are going to target them for being heterosexual. So if they need legal help or whatever, or we need to press a legal case, if you know any of the principals involved, I want you to get in touch with me. And we're gonna take the case. We're gonna be on the case. You are not going to tell young black boys in Atlanta that they are to be indoctrinated into being effeminized and that heterosexuality is now a crime. You're not going to sit up here and do that. Police can murder black boys with impunity, but then tell the black boys that if they like pretty girls or if they have a preference in the girls that they like, you're here to tell them that they can't have a preference. What type of diabolical bastard do you think you are? So to anyone here listening, if you or someone you know if one of your sons is someone you know has one of your sons being targeted by these people, I want you to get in touch with me. Not gonna play with them. We're not playing any games at all. We're gonna make it very, very clear to them. No, we draw the line here. You are not gonna sit here and say that heterosexuality is a crime. You are not going to sit here and get together on Channel 46 with all the worn out females who are postmenopausal and upset because nothing ever came together for them the way they wish they would have liked. And then tell us that there's nothing we can do. Your boys have to be effeminized. They have to be effeminized. We're not going to have it. So don't get in touch with me unless you have direct contact with one of the kids involved. If you don't contact me. By the way, if you email me unsolicited, I just block you. So if you wonder why you never got back through again, it's because you got blocked. If you were not asked to write me, don't take it upon yourself to do so. If you volunteer, you will get what you get. Understand this is the threat that we're living under here right now. They are telling you at this school that they are going to target your kids. Target your kids. And do you know what is the most despicable part of it? The most despicable part of it is there are so many sick, degenerate individuals like this heifer right here. The problem is there are so many sick, ovarian degenerates like this one that they hate males. And unfortunately, nature gives this piece of refuse the ability to get pregnant. And she probably got pregnant by the worst no-goodnik that she could. And now she's out here to poison. She is a sick degenerate with a poisoned mind. Now she's out here poisoning her son. Telling him all girls are pretty. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. You just said something is an absolute. There's no such thing as a statistical absolute, a numerical absolute, except death. Death is the only numerical absolute. So she's sitting up here handing a fairy tale. All girls are not pretty, because pretty is not a matter of sitting up here saying, well, I want us all to be eligible. This isn't a social service. Attraction is not a social service. You don't get to sit up here and tell somebody that they don't like what they like. And you can take a look at her, tatted up and hood ratted up, driving her Jeep Liberty. Life didn't work out for her the way she would have liked. Looking like her baby hair was done with SOS scrubbing pads. And those her damn eyebrows were drawn on with a eraser. No, things didn't work out for her the way she would have liked. And she figures that if I just could have got that Negro I got pregnant by to just sit up here and bow to me a little bit more, things would have worked out better. No, it wouldn't have. You're not eligible. And you don't want to just accept the brutal reality that men had a choice. And if you talk about attitude being pretty, yeah, your attitude is pretty damn messy. We can see right now why no man would want to keep you, Nike Martin. Nobody would want to keep you. No man who has a choice would choose to keep you, which is why you want your son to believe a lie. Well, all girls is pretty. Yeah, all girls should be eligible for your attention is what she really means. All girls should be eligible for your desire and attention. Yeah, the mother is teaching that because she's never been eligible for it. Ciara Cummings, you can host all the little slimy ass news stories that you want to, but that's not going to change the reality. If you're not eligible, you're not eligible. You cannot bully men into desiring you. Do you understand that? Ladies, listen to me. You can go to work for all the TV stations you want to. You can't bully men into desiring you. You can't dictate nor legislate desirability. You can do all the little news pieces you want to. It goes in one ear and out the other. Because at the end of the day, if we ain't feeling you, we ain't feeling you. And too many of you, if I can just be totally honest right now, there are too many of you who, ladies, women listening here, what makes this news story ridiculous is because you don't understand. Your outside is a reflection of your inside. Oh, you ain't gonna like that. Well, it's true. Your outside is a reflection of your inside. And if your inside is not very appealing, it's going to show in the way you dress, in the way you hold yourself, in the way you communicate, your funky ass attitude, your nasty ass demeanor, your combative ass behaviors. Your outside does reflect your inside, and men are turned off by it. It affects the way you dress. All I'm going to say is take a look at Ciara here and then take a look at Sean, and you tell me which one believes they get the most attention. It ain't got nothing to do with being light-skinned. One of them has a look of confidence. One of them has a look like they are used to men responding to them positively. And the other one looks like she's not sure whether she even likes men. This guy, and let me see if I can bully the men. If I can't have a man, I'll just bully him. I'll just do that instead. We'll just do that instead. Thank you to Ronde Patai, and especially a big shout out here to Cornell Sly here in the Super Chat. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program, either on Super Chat or Cash App. Thank you very much for all of your support here tonight. We do appreciate it from everybody here. Big shout out here to my man Julius in the Cash App, and William C. Thank you very much as well. Thank you to all of you who have supported tonight's program. This is crucial and critical because you all have to understand I don't have children. So I don't have any kids who are in these school systems. If I did have children, they would not be going to the public school system specifically to avoid this type of nonsense. But a lot of you do. A lot of my audience is in the Atlanta area. And as such, that's the kind of thing I want you to be aware of. That's the kind of thing I want you to be aware of. That this is what they're doing at your schools. And this is the one who got caught. That's the one thing I want you to understand. When we're talking about this incident right here, this is just the one who got caught. This is happening all the time. You've got all these worn out, worn down, ratty ass females who couldn't get a better job somewhere else. Remember the Atlanta school district here, 7 years ago, had that big scandal where the mostly females, practically all female teachers and administrators were sitting up here passing students from one grade to another. Do you all remember that? Do you remember when that was going on? Remember when that was happening? They've got this whole school district is really set up for the purposes of victimizing the boys. It really is. It's got a never-ending phalanx of individuals who are in place to target your sons And now they are just outright saying, your boys do not get to say what is pretty. Now, for those of you here, and let's just understand, a lot of you do qualify. You are in that, you are females of that mindset. I just want you to understand something. Do you really believe that this principal, whether she's gay or not, and I'm picking up that vibe, but whether she is or isn't, do you truly believe that she approves of any standard of quote unquote beauty that is not Eurocentric in nature? And that if your boys do not lust after if your black sons don't lust after non-black females, then they should lust after other black males. But for those of you who are so screwed up in the brain and you are so damaged and broken that you actually sit up here and mirror and parrot what you hear them saying, do you really think that when she talks about beauty, she's talking about yo black ass? Do you really think that's what she means? Do you really think she's going to sit here and big up you and tell the boys that you're cute? Do you really think that's what she's backing? Do you really think that's what she's here for? You really think that some of you are so stupid that you're still falling for feminism? You think there's a white feminist out there who the principal gonna make sure y'all come and take me up off of this block and come play set Captain Save a Hoe with me. The principal gonna make shows about that. Yeah, there are some of you who are so screwed up in the brain and so stupid that you really believe that's going to be you. That she's sitting here looking out for you, or that she can help you inadvertently. You can't get it right yourself. You can't get it cracking yourself. She's going to help you get it going. Really? Are you that dumb? A lot of you are. But then again, there are those of you who are not. So we will give it an opportunity for you to speak on that. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business, the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, high value posers, MGTOW morons, winosphere, clowns, alpha male wannabes, and others stole and ripped off everything that they took it from. This is the place that gave them the game. You'll hear them mess up everything I'm saying this week when they come on next week, but hear it directly and straight the first time here. Let's talk about this. Are all females pretty? Now, I want the females to call up tonight. I want the females to call me up tonight. The telephone lines are now open. I'm going to take calls from everyone, but I'm putting out an open call to the females. If you are a female who believes that all women are pretty, I want you can call up and tell my mods that you're on the line. Give them your area code. I will put you at the front of the line. I will skip you to the front of the line. You'll be in first. You'll be in first. But do you believe that all girls are pretty? That all females are pretty? How many of you are willing to take a look at your daughter and say, you better stay in college because you ain't that cute? How many of you are willing to say that males have a right to their preference? We spent all these decades talking about women and my body, my choice. They are now trying to tell, this is insane. They're trying to tell males that we don't have a choice of what we like. We don't get to choose who we want. Now, if we told females that they don't get to choose what is attractive to them, they don't get to say, well, I don't like short guys. I don't like stubby guys. I don't like chubby guys. If we told the females that it's a crime, that is assault and that's harassment for you to express a preference, would they allow us to do that? Where are they allowing males to say, you know what? I mean, where are we telling the females that we want to criminalize any preferences you have? You don't get to like dark-skinned dudes. You don't get to like light-skinned dudes. You don't get a say in what you like. All men are handsome. the homeless dude down the street, you should be equally attracted to him. You don't get to have a preference. How many of you are with that? Well, you have an opportunity to speak. Let's go ahead and open up the telephone lines here. Let me get caller from area code 713. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, it's CJ calling from Houston.
CJ from Houston, what's on your mind?
Man, it's kind of crazy how you brought up, you talking about this subject. My son was just in a fight today with, just a little boy that was picking on everybody. He got into a fight yesterday with somebody else, and I guess he picked on my little boy. So this is what I heard. I heard that he was teasing everybody, and he got around my son and just got up close to him. And my son told me that he pushed him away, and then that's when they got up in each other's face, and that's when the fight began. My son told me he slapped him twice, which I think, hey, you did something. And he said the guy pushed him, and that's why all the other kids started laughing, giggling. And that's when they broke it up.
All right, brother, what is your, okay, brother, we're going on. This is a great, wonderful story for the Sandlot movie. What is your point?
Yeah. Well, the point I'm making is that the guy that started, the boy that started it, he didn't get in trouble. Well, my son got in trouble. So they basically saying that the boy was kind of, ill, going through a mental illness or something like that.
Okay. You're having a different discussion than we are. This is not for parents who feel generally aggrieved. I asked about whether or not you feel that all girls are pretty. So, folks, tonight's program is not for individuals who have a grudge at their school or just having general issues. That was completely off topic. I don't want to talk about your kids' school days. I'm not here to reminisce about high school. I asked a specific question. So that guy was the ADHD wing. Okay, let's see if we can do a little bit better here. Caller from area code 469. You're on live with The Business. Are all girls pretty?
Hey, this Big Stone, Jason Black. Now listen, we can judge all men all the time at church, at work, at school. Men can be judged. You gotta perform. Every time that microscope is put on young ladies, older ladies, women in general, that they do this, they conduct, their beauty have to be up to a certain point. It's a scrutinization that happens immediately. And I'm talking about, man, it is in their psyche that they do not want to be judged. And it's an offense. It's illegal. It's damn near illegal to judge a woman on criteria, have a criteria for a woman to judge them on.
Well, I mean, if they play that game until it's time to hand out benefits. Females have no problem with OnlyFans or anything else. So if looks or attractiveness can gain superior benefits, well, that's okay. That's great. That's fine. You fellas need to make a choice. Y'all it's okay for you to have a preference when folks are handing money out. That's okay. It is only when the men are talking about, okay, here's what I really want. Because the thing that you have to understand, the reason why this white supremacist, dirty ass wench is sitting up here talking like this is because you're making qualitative judgments, and you can't afford for the boys to make qualitative judgments. You need to try to short circuit. This is how devious they've gotten. You got to try to short circuit that, because from qualitative judgments comes ambition. When you set up a hierarchy, then people have to respect the pecking order. When you have cast your votes, they got to respect the pecking order. You see, what they want to do now is they want to sit up here and tell you that, if you notice here, like, for example, your homecoming queen pictures. They've had a bunch of black females now, these morbidly obese homecoming queens. What was that, Ole Miss? Their homecoming queen was this big, round, rotund, jolly little bear sitting up here.
Right.
And that's what they want to push on you. So if you don't make qualitative judgments, then yeah, obesity is unhealthy, but we want that to be what you are attracted to. Now, don't come over here trying to sell that to us. We're not going to do it. But you can do that. And you can pursue, another man. Well, that's okay for you. You do that. That's what we're pushing you on. And we want to do it early because they understand as children, they can influence them with fear. If you, what they're doing is, and remember, I've always taught you all that white supremacy believes in targeting your children.
Right.
It believes in targeting your children. So what it does is they have no problem going after them young because they understand this is impressionable. They're coming at the end of it, but they're still young enough to be impressionable. And what they will remember is the last time that I expressed a qualitative preference, I got jumped at school. The principals went after me and whatnot. This is to make this as damaging an experience as possible so that as they go into manhood, they don't express a preference. Now, the white males can have all the preferences they want.
Yeah.
The Asians can have all they want. But as black men, you are not allowed a preference. You're not allowed to have one. So this woman here with her PhD, she's putting it to work all right. And by the way, there were a lot of Nazis who had PhDs too, by the way. And she's putting it to work to show I can sit here and brainwash your kids. I can mind bend your children. And now I can sit up here and, if nothing else, I'm going to go. She did everything publicly she could without naming who the boys were. She gave all the details she could without naming who they were. So that's her way of targeting them. And then hoping that the rest of the community, with your jaded, cast-off females, will take up the rest. Let me ask you a simple question here, brother. Are all females pretty? And if not,
no.
And if not, why
Hell
not?
no.
Why not?
Well, it's like you say. It's their personality shines through their outward demeanor, through their look, through their behavior. A person that's disciplined, healthy, smart, brilliant. I mean, that stuff shines through in how they carry themselves, and men are judged in the same manner, and even more. Our bar is held higher, and we have to be more judgmental of ourselves because that makes that holds the bar up for our whole community, for our race.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 701. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
JC from Fargo, North Dakota.
JC from Fargo, what's on your mind?
Well, I would like to say I was raised to believe that all women were pretty. Now, I'm a 5'4" black male, and my mother made a point to tell me that I was going to be judged on being short, dark-skinned, and a man. But when it came to the women, she said all were pretty and all should be accepted, and nobody has the right to judge. Most women in my family are obese. So my vision of women, mostly as far as any kind of beauty, was based on that. So I went through middle school, high school, all through that, thinking that it was okay to be with a bigger girl to a certain extent. As long as they was willing to work or fit, I said, okay, we can make it work. But then I was told that I was being judgmental if I would demand somebody to go work out or be the best that they could be.
Now, that's very interesting there because your story is very typical. Ever since the baby boomer generation, that group of low-life degenerates, they poison the minds of their sons. They want their sons to be producers, but at the same time have low expectations. If your son is going to be the best, then he should expect the best. They want what they really do here, and what you're telling me is you were raised by a single mother, and she never had a man who ever produced anything. So what she did was in this sick home laboratory, they turned their homes into these sick psychotic laboratories. And what she did was she was trying to brainwash you into being the type of male that she wished she could have met. Because let's just keep it real. Male nature has never changed. We are still the same. And the situations that the females are getting from us today, that's the way we've always been. Well, your mama, dudes let her know where she could get off at. And she did not change or alter her ways. So when she had a son, she had a son, and you look like the nigga who got her pregnant. So when she looks at you, she sees him. And all she wants to do now is grab your little brain and twist it and turn it into something that would have served her better. So she went to work to say, when a woman says all girls are pretty, she just told you how men see her. You see, when a woman knows she's pretty, she ain't got to tell men that all women are pretty. She's like, I've never had a problem getting men to accept mine. I'm here to stick up for the ugly girls. No, you men have never thought of you as pretty like that. You've never been that.
I would say she succeeded until I was 25 and I had my own children. And I told her, well, I can no longer help you or assist you with bills at the house because I have my own children to take care of. And she told me that I was worshiping money and doing whatever, and I should be willing to help her no matter what. And this is after me explaining to her once I found out the woman was pregnant, that I would no longer be able to extend that help. So she got divorced from her husband after 10 years, and she was pregnant when she got married to that man by another man. So she married a dude who was a simp in all sense of purposes, and I seen that. And then when I moved with my father, he never made the distinction between women either. Now, he didn't date no chicks that looked like the chicks that I was bringing home, but he never told me and said, you should have a higher standard of women. Well, he never made it an expression
just
as if he had an issue with me.
The quality of women that a man is going to champion is going to be directly correlative to his socioeconomic standing. In other words, if you're a man who hasn't accomplished very much, you're not going to have very high standards for the females that you talk about, that you claim you're attracted
exactly.
to. If you're a guy who's not high achieving, you're not going to have a very high standard for females. You're not. It's going to be get in where you fit in, and that's it. So let's just say that's like this. Now, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Fargo. Actually, thanks to your advice, I've called many times before on the Black Authority. You know, it was a old broadcast called Media Hate Crimes on the original Black Authority channel. But I was the guy who was supposedly going to nursing school, but I flipped that and just started my own business with the female that I was with. So listening to you in the business, I got my credit together, score everything together because I had made a mistake and made these children. And then I was seeking to be a man, and the business popped up years ago. The Black Authority popped up years ago. And the first broadcast I ever listened to, you were saying, stop making your boys love any type of women. Coincidentally, that was the first thing I ever heard come out your mouth. And then from that point on, I started working and improving myself. And I realized how low of a standard because socioeconomic status, as you have pointed out. And I got my 2 jobs. I worked to pay off my debts, and I'm still working to pay them off. But I work for myself. I manage for myself. Today, all thanks to you. I don't even speak to my father. My father, he's into more of the interracial thing. You know, he bought a wife from the Dominican Republic and married her, and then that didn't work out because all she wanted was iPhones, jewelry, and stuff. He was bragging to me about 6 months ago about a white girl and an Asian girl living in a home with him and how she got his name tatted on her and all that stuff. And I got pissed off because I got tired of pretending to respect what he was doing.
So basically, your daddy was a young trick when he was with your mama. Now he's an old trick, basically.
Well, they were 17. They had me when they were in high school. My mother was graduating. She was pregnant in her photo with me, and my father was like a year younger. Then he made another son a year later. Went to college, went to live his life. He lived literally 30 minutes away from me, and I didn't meet him until I was 13. I got separated from my mother on abuse charges after running away so much and all that stuff. Now, I ain't going to say she abused us, but she definitely would put the discipline down, you know. And so I didn't, you know, you said in the broadcast you had earlier this month when you was talking to the gentleman about it's natural for a man to resist because I was with 3 sisters and just a female. And you said it was your masculinity will naturally resist a lack of order in the home. And when you're trying to tell your mother, you know, I knew more about getting money than she did because she worked at McDonald's for 20 years, but was trying to explain it to me as if she had broken her neck and done her best. And now that I'm a parent of 2 and I work 2 jobs and run the business, because the woman I'm with was running the business while I go work my jobs. And I'm saying, okay, so nobody thought to put this much effort in, but working at McDonald's for 20 years, which we all know is the quintessential failure job of America, is working at any fast food. But you telling me that you did all the most that you could do. And then my father, he's an RN, and he just got him a government job. So he wants to brag to me about getting the government job. And I'm sitting here asking him, okay, what business can we do together? How can we create wealth for ourselves? And he said, well, you need to get out the mud to do out the dirt yourself. And I'm saying, well, I can do that, but what's the point of you contacting me about all your sexual exploits and all your traveling and useless martial arts that you're learning? So it's just, I had that level of confusion. So once you start putting white supremacy in a perspective and I started addressing everybody in my family from that perspective, sisters and all, I lost everybody. I had to cut everybody off.
Well,
everybody wanted me to be the same nice guy.
Let me make a brief point here. To the folks in the chat room or anything else, there's a reason why I haven't said anything about that. And to my mods, anybody with anything negative to say, you can time them out. I'll be nice to them this time only. This young man is not an anomaly. And this is why I usually, like I say, eventually at some point, I'm probably going to make the chat room members only, because too many of you are damaged and stupid and you think you're going to burnish your comedian credentials. And instead of you acting like adults, y'all think it's showtime at the Apollo and it's your chance. You're not very funny. If I didn't say it, you're not smarter than me. So I just wanted to be understood there. I'll let the young man speak because that is precisely what we've been talking about here tonight. This letter is no joke. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. You're young enough to be my son.
Yes, sir.
So I want you all to understand something here. To those of you that when folks are talking some real stuff here that is directly in line with what we've been talking about here tonight. Some of you, I understand, it hits home for you because you never dealt with the issues that you had. That's why you want to joke about it. You see, the big problem we have, and I see some of them black males in here, you have to understand, the most powerless niggas in the room usually like to make jokes. When it's not time to make jokes. They're always sitting up here trying to be entertaining and amusing. The dumbest nigga in the room is always, as Denzel Washington said to Nicky Barnes, loudest nigga, to his boys, loudest nigga in the room is Frank Lucas. Loudest guy in the room is the weakest one in the room. This is directly relating to what we've been talking about here tonight. Because it is weak and powerless parents. In your case, you struck out on both sides. You are proof that knowing your father isn't necessarily a good thing. And he's typical. This is not atypical. So I'm sorry if some of you ADHD crack pipe babies, you've been raised with cell phones in your mouth. Very interesting. But there's a reason why I have them talk here. There's a reason why. Because this is directly correlating to what we're talking about here tonight. The boys are left powerless in the homes. If you want to know who it is that allows that kind of thing to happen, this is what allows it. This is what allows it. They get raised by slutty, weak moms. They get raised by useless, weak dads. And now 80% of your black boys are raised with this type of sick, demented indoctrination. His mother worked at McDonald's for 20 years. 2/3 of his life. His mother's financial example was going to McDonald's. What does that automatically tell you? She never aspired to anything better. That was her standard. 2/3 of his life. Is she still working there now?
Well, she actually went back. She got fired because of an incident where she actually was talking back to a woman about how to make the burger correct. It was like a mustard ketchup first issue, and the woman, you know what I'm saying, was a little higher position, or she didn't like the way she approached the white woman, and they fired her. And they told her, they said, you either can take this $2-3 pay cut because she was assistant manager, or you can go ahead. And they let her go, and then she was working at Kohl's for a while.
Okay, where is she working at now?
She's working at McDonald's right now. She came back. Just that she got fired and then came back.
She's working at McDonald's. She got fired. She went working somewhere else. Probably got fired there and then went back to McDonald's. So what it tells you is she's basically institutionalized. She doesn't have the ability to handle higher level skills. Maturity isn't something that everybody takes on naturally. Some people, maturity, they just suck at it and they just fail at it. And the problem is, in her case, it didn't just fail her, it failed her children. And that is an inexcusable, unforgivable crime. Unforgivable. What is your son's socioeconomic expectations or standards for himself going to be when his mother aspires to go from the back making the burgers to the drive-through window? That to her is success and elevation in life. I want you all to think about that for a few moments. To some of the failed comedian clowns that many of you are in the same circumstances and whatnot. So you go on the internet to expose how pathetic you really are. You've come to the wrong person to do that around, by the way, because I don't find you funny or humorous. This is a typical story. I had to start the Black channel because this is what the average Black person has to go through, particularly Black males. His mother, supposed to be the chief protector of him as a child, and was trying to teach him how to be a servant as opposed to be a leader. And the typical Black male experience in America today is that they are taught to be followers. Their mothers treat them like pets because they couldn't keep a husband. So they indoctrinate their sons to be this weak little male companion. But they don't have one and never have. She's needed it, but doesn't have it. And then decades later, they come to me, as they invariably will. They come to me. If they're lucky, most of them will not be. Most of them will hear what I'm saying and respond to it like they slutty ass mamas do, screeching and squealing. Why? Because they're not ready. They're 30 or 40 or 50 years old or older and realize, man, I ain't ready. Everything I've done is wrong. I got to start over. I ain't ready for that, man. Look here. Standards is wrong. You wrong for standards. You talking about we need to have higher. No, you wrong for standards. Standards is relative. Everybody don't need the same standards. No, see how quickly they surrender. Most of them will surrender. This young man didn't. And even though I did not go through the same things that you did, in many ways, it's more difficult because you've been through things that I haven't necessarily been through, and yet you were still able to come to your moment of revelation that your parents were wrong and that they don't have anything to offer you. Now, let's all just be very, very clear. Sometimes that can seem like a traumatic thing, but in reality, we all reach a point. I mean, that's called adulthood. There is no such thing as the perfect parents, period. There's no parent who knows everything or everything that you need, and there's no parent who gets it all right. You're going to have to make corrections, and at some point, you have to be a person by yourself. You're going to have to be a person on your own, separate and apart from them. The insidious part is when they try to raise you to be a part of their home forever. Because if your mother is on her square, she's going to have a husband for the rest of her life. If she's not, then she's going to be by herself. But it's not up to you to be a substitute and to patch together that you are part of her plan to patch together her holes in her life. She needs to do the right things to patch together her holes. Let's just be very, very clear. Your mama you've been alive now going on 30 years. Your mother has had at least 3 damn decades to get her damn act together. She has had at least 3 decades to wrap them legs around a nigga who was about something. She has invariably chosen not to do so. And ain't no dude looking to get booed up with the 50-year-old chick working the grill at Burger King. That's not what's going on. That's not what we're trying to have. I saw something the other day in my travels across this country, and I was kind of astounded when I saw it. I saw a woman. She must have been, and folks, I'm saying it on a stack. She must have been 70 years old. If she wasn't, this woman was the single most hard-lived female I ever seen, if she isn't. She looked like the oldest Walmart greeter you ever saw. And she was wearing a nice little black uniform while she was sweeping up in the parking lot at Popeyes. It was early in the morning, about 6 in the morning. And I'm driving by, and I look out the window, and there she is. She didn't look middle-aged. She didn't look old. She looked old. This was not somebody's mama. Again, this was somebody's grandmama with a little old folk walk and everything. And what I'm saying is, if that occurs to you, you know you made a lot of mistakes. And there are a bunch of females out here in this modern era who believe that they can mentally and emotionally pillage and exploit their own sons to patch together their mistakes. And that was what you grew up under. You were supposed to be her backup plan. You were supposed to be her retirement strategy. No. Women have to make decisions to start appreciating the quality of man that they are with, and to stop trying to denigrate and destroy productive men because you think you're going to turn him into your servant. Your job is to convince him that you are worth his time, not the other way around. The other thing that they must understand is that, you know what? All girls are not created equal. Some of you are going to have to try harder than others. Now, you have no problem telling the boys this, that they'll have to try harder than others. Well, son, you 5'4", so you'll have to try harder than the others.
Yes, sir.
But then they sit up here and as the boy, they feed you the lie that the females shouldn't have to try harder for you. Now, you should try harder for them, but they shouldn't have to try harder for you. Well, yeah, because a female, like this worthless piece of trash on my screen, she doesn't qualify. So her last desperate, bitter act of revenge against the male population is to indoctrinate her son. I will get revenge if against no one else, I will get it against my son. That's how sick and evil this has begun to rot into. I just want you all to understand that's how far this has gone. This young man should not be able to rattle off a life story like this at the age of 29. He shouldn't be able to talk about he was taken out of the home and mama was pregnant by another dude when she got married to this dude, and then this dude is off buying chicks in the latter half of his damn life because he doesn't qualify. He's sitting up here trying to get him a green card wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Exactly what he got.
He's going into the world now.
Exactly
He's
what he
just
got.
tricking off his money because a female would not want to be with him on principle. He doesn't have enough value, so he's basically trying to get, a mail-order bride if he can get that, and that's not going to happen because these chicks overseas they got the internet like anybody else, and they hip to the game about how simpish a bunch of these American males are. So, fellas, if you're an American male talking to a chick overseas, she sees your simp ass coming. They all know the game over there. If you don't believe that women are the same worldwide, I was talking about this the other day. Do you all know how many Ugandans there are on OnlyFans? Do you all know how many Kenyan females there are on OnlyFans? I was researching for a program, actually last week's program, and by accident, on the side, it was a non-American site, and over there on the side, it was talking about the Kenyans and Ugandans of OnlyFans. And I'm like, okay, there's a headline you don't see every day. And at first I'm thinking, it ain't that much. Nah, they over there, and it's all on display. ALL. Why you're sitting up here telling me that they're different over there? Why you're telling me that they're less skullduggerous? Why you're telling me that they're not the same as what you see over here? Why you're telling me that they have a different set of morals and a different set of principles and a different set of values? It's always some guy who done tricked off every dime he's ever had trying to tell all of us he's doing big things overseas. Dude, if you can't get it popping in Alabama, you ain't going to get it pop. If you can't get it popping in Alexandria, Virginia, you're not going to get it popping in Alexandria, Egypt. It ain't happening. If you're a simp in America, and you're going to be a simp and an underachiever over there. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Well, brother, I want to thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I'm glad to see things are going better for you here. Please do give us a call again. We are teaching people to believe in misnomers. Not going to have it. Caller from area code 319. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello. Thank you for accepting my phone call. My name is Shamar. And I'm calling from Des Moines, Iowa. And,
did you say your name was... Okay, let me see. Did you say your name was Shamar or Shaman?
Shamar.
All right, Shamar from...
S-H-A-M-A-R.
Okay, Shamar from Des Moines. And what's on your mind?
I'm calling to elaborate on your question or try to give my perspective on give an answer to your question. I have 3 sons. I'm 41 years old. I have 3 sons, ages 14, 6, and 2. My 14-year-old was avidly infatuated with white women, and he thought I was racist. I'm like, no, you go to school, these white women are teaching you, and I don't want you to get caught up in the system or you going to jail, getting shot and killed, or anything like that. And I do believe there are some beautiful women, beautiful black women. And I've always instilled in my sons, don't bring home nothing that don't look like me. That looks like the milk jug, the water jug, nothing outside of your race. I don't want to see it at all. Don't bring home, homosexuality, none of that. Don't bring none of that home.
Well, you make a very good point there because you are absolutely correct. There's all kinds of things that go on at these schools. They have pageants. They have get-togethers. They have school recess. They have, those games that you play in class where everybody gets, half the students get on one side and the other half get on the other. And they form, their natural social circles. They start forming those natural social hierarchies. And if the teachers are white, they're going to manipulate what your black children are doing. They're going to manipulate the outcomes. But it goes beyond that. Wait. It actually goes beyond that. Because I want you all to understand something here. Public education, or as it's practiced in the United States and whatnot, it's done this way for a reason. Understand, I want you parents who have children in school to understand what I'm telling you here and understand exactly how it works. This is exactly what the schools want. Your children do not have one mother. Your children have two. They got two mothers.
And I'm my child's first teacher. I am my child's first teacher. And I
Yep,
tell all
you are the first teacher, but you are not the only. That's the problem. And they want your children there early and young. And your children are going to accept this stranger who has been brought to them by the state, by the white supremacist state, and this stranger is going to be installed in school day one as their surrogate mother. Your children go to school, they walk into the classroom. Hello, Miss Bachman. That's not a joke when that happens. They get to write letters about why they like their 10 reasons they like their teacher. I remember we had that in school. They get to bring the teacher an apple. These are acts of affinity. These are acts of affection. And I want you all to understand that. When your children go on the playground, if they trip and fall and hurt their knee, you, Shaman, ain't coming to pick nobody up. You're not going to be there. That woman's going to be there. That's the one that your child's going to come running to. While so many females out here today try to be sanctimonious and pretend that, I wouldn't want another woman breastfeed my children. These women, your schools have been doing this now for decades. Y'all been just letting them do what they want to there. They've been doing it for decades now. Y'all way behind. Way behind. Delusional. If your children cut them... Okay, stop. Okay, stop. We'll come back to you in a moment. If your children cut themselves at school, it's going to be the teacher they go to, not you. Hell, the school won't even call you. If your child has a loose tooth, hell, I remember seeing that when I was in elementary school. The teacher or the assistant principal, maybe even the principal, they'll take it out if it's loose enough. Some schools may have a dedicated nurse, but if the nurse isn't there, the teacher will take care of that. So if the child is hungry, the teacher's going to take care of making sure they get fed. We can go down the list of any of the obligations or practices that you think you have, that you believe, you tell yourself you have as a mother. And I can show you where their teacher does every single one of them from the very beginning of their ability to socialize in society at large. Because they don't socialize with society at large at your damn house. Their first real socialization in the society at large isn't in your home. It is in that classroom. They meet the world for the first time in that classroom, and their first guide in dealing with the rest of the world ain't you. Never has been. Their first guide in dealing with the rest of the world, in acclimating to it, the rules that they will be taught, you're not the one who teaches them what the proper amount of, quote, politeness is. That white woman at the head of their classroom, she is the first teacher of politeness, civility, chivalry, expectations, dare I say, manhood. If it is your son, yeah, you're his mother, but she's the other mother. And he will be taught to have affection for her and care for her, and his image of himself is going to be dependent on her. Her approval will be something he is looking for. If she says he's been good, it's been a great day. If she says he's been bad, it's a terrible day. I don't want to go back to school anymore. Not you. Understand that. You don't have a part in that. It ain't gonna be you. Too many of you overestimate your value and don't understand what you're really looking at. You will never have the value that woman does. You don't teach algebra. You don't teach history, sociology, civics. You don't do all that. You can't. Furthermore, even if you could, you don't do it as well as she can. She's got degrees in it. You trying to figure it out. She already knows. And she goes to workshops that teach her how to be a better teacher, that are concentrated specifically on how to deal with children. You're trying to figure out how to be a parent. She's got psychologists, the greatest psychological minds in history have written books for her to read to figure out how to brain pick your child. I have to explain this to parents because you all are kind of walking around in a self-contained delusion that you don't understand. Y'all are outside. You don't get it. You're deliberately blind. I know what I'm seeing when I get here because I'm on the outside looking in. You're on the inside looking in. I see the difference between a regular mother with a child, and then when I see what teachers do, and I'm like, oh, these are parallels. These are microcosms. Not even really microcosms. They're parallels. Not even microcosms. So when this woman tells your child, when your child starts talking about what girls he thinks are pretty, and assuming the young kids even do that kind of stuff, but if they're in age being able to do that, this woman is going to have an influence on that. Most of your female teachers are not little old ladies. The principals are, but most of the teachers are not. They're in their 30s or 40s. Some of them in their 20s. And as your sons are entering puberty and developing, yeah, they're starting to notice that females are for more than making mud pies and throwing them at them. Biology is taking over. So, in your eyes, his white female teacher is a 4 or a 5. But to a boy, to whom most females are inaccessible, that heifer's a 9. You don't get to, you can have influence, sure, but just understand, so does she. And that's the whole point of the indoctrination of the public schools. You have influence? Yeah. So does his teacher. Both of you have influence. Now, usually what people would think I would say is, well, if your son had a thing for white girls, that probably started at home. But I'm not even going to make that assumption. I'm going to say, you know what? You could have done everything right. And I'm not saying you did. You could have done everything right. And still, this indoctrination's gotten in there. Why? Your son is with them 6, 7, 8 hours a day. If he sleeps for 8 hours, he spends half of his waking hours with her. And she will make suggestions. She will make it clear which girls in the classroom she prefers and gives preferential treatment to. It'll be clear to your sons who gets the preferential treatment and who doesn't. And that's going to influence them. But I suggest to you that her very presence presents her as an idealized option. As the mother, you are always going to be a black female idealized option, assuming, of course, you're not a poor excuse for a parent. But that white woman's very presence in the school establishes her as a female idealized option. And your sons are too young to be able to properly understand racism in its proper context. So this will serve to confuse them. So he's got these two thoughts pulling at him. Yeah, something like that. So I want you all to understand their very presence does that. And, well, we can take the kids home and homeschool them. That's great. The only problem with homeschooling is that your kids got to leave the house sometime. And they have to be, they're going to have to encounter the real world sometime. And it is context where most parents typically fail. They typically fail to establish the proper context of how to deal with the world with their children. So the answer isn't necessarily leaving them in these people's clutches, but it also isn't segregating them and isolating them away from it either, because they're going to have to. At some point, they will. My other question here is, have you taught yours? How many sons do you have?
3.
And are you married or are you a single parent?
I'm divorced.
Okay. How long you been divorced?
For 11 years.
Okay, that's a long time. How old is your oldest child?
My oldest child is 19, my daughter.
Okay, so basically you've been away from their father longer than you've been with them. Yeah,
Right.
You've been away from the man of the house longer than you've been with him. So that absence.
But my son is with his father.
Okay, that's nice and everything, but I don't necessarily think that's a great thing either. I think kids need to have both parents in the house so they can have balance, because without him seeing how a man treats a woman on a daily basis, he's missing half the equation. But I'll come back to something different here. What have you taught your sons that all women are beautiful?
No, I have not.
Why not?
Because all women aren't beautiful.
Why do you say that?
From the inside out. Piggybacking on what two of the callers ahead of me said, on the inside out, a woman can be beautiful on outside, but on the inside shows and comes out through her.
Let me address a couple of things there, okay? Because there are a couple of misconceptions that we have here, and I don't want that to get lost here, okay? Folks, when I say that all women are not pretty, what I mean is there are some physically ugly females out there. It's not about character or if you look at her heart. No, some chicks are just ugly. Some of them got big ass foreheads. Some of them got buck teeth. Some of them got ears that stick out way on the sides, and some of them are cross-eyed. No, some females are ugly. Some of them, their bottoms their legs are shorter than they're shorter from the waist to their feet than they are from their waist to their head. No, some chicks are ugly. Some chicks are ugly. You got a nose like the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah, some chicks are just ugly. They really, really are. So when I say that, I don't say this because it sounds cute. I'm not going to sit up here and shade the situation here, water it down. No, some females are ugly. They're unattractive. There's not anything inviting about them. They're built badly. They are not very inviting. You got cross eyes. You got buck teeth. You got big foreheads. You got cross eyes. I said that already. You got a cleft jaw, a cleft chin. You got an Adam's apple. Your eyes are too far apart or too close together. You got that duck mouth thing like Michelle Obama. No, it's not true to tell females that every single one is attractive. No, that's not true. It isn't. Because when it comes to men, nobody sits up here saying if a fella's 5'2", he sure is attractive. Nobody says that. If a fella is cross-eyed or got bad teeth, nobody says he's handsome. Nobody says all men are handsome. I'm not talking about no damn search his soul and weigh his character and take a look into his inner beauty. No, I'm talking about aesthetics. There are pretty cars and there are ugly cars. As a woman, there are pretty purses and there are ugly purses. And nowadays, it seems they just try to make purses just to be seen. So, there's a bunch of ugly stuff they just make to be seen. Michael Kors talking to you. But full damn well, there are pretty shoes and ugly ones. There are pretty purses and ugly ones. There are pretty cars and ugly ones. Well, guess what? There are pretty women and there are ugly ones. What that means is the ugly ones are going to have to understand, okay, what goes for the guys goes for me. What goes for the geese is good for the gander. You are going to have to try harder. Okay, your face is a riveting 4. That means from the neck down, you can't do, there's not a lot you can do from the neck up, but you can do a lot from the neck down. You better be a 10 from the neck down. Your attitude better be a 10. Your disposition better be a 10. You need offsets. Your academic ability should be a 10. But this idea that you're going to be able to just sit up here and whatnot and, well, all women is beautiful. No. All women are not beautiful. That's a lie. It has nothing to do with their character, inner beauty, any of that. Nothing. I'm talking about on aesthetics, on looks. The chicks at the checkout lanes at Walmart are not all pretty. It's a crapshoot. No, they're not all pretty simply because they were born. Some of them are just ugly. It has nothing to do with your inner anything. She might be nice as she can be. Problem, most ugly chicks are not nice. And that's the other thing we don't want to talk about either. Most ugly females are not nice people. They're not polite. The ugly chicks are the rudest, most cantankerous, belligerent, foul-mouthed that they can be. Primarily because they wish they could get the benefits of male attention and they don't qualify. So let me just make this very, very clear. No, some women are ugly. Some women are not pretty. Some women are cute but not beautiful. And there are a few that are actually beautiful. And a very few that are not dead gorgeous. But no, this is not about inner beauty. This is not about character. This is not about getting to know you. This is not about, well, if you act a certain way, then you become beautiful. No, if you act polite, you become polite. Just because you're polite, don't make you beautiful. Because truth be told, there's a bunch of females out there who are friend-zoned. And they hate it. There's a bunch of females out there right now. They are friend-zoned and they hate it. And they go get little jobs as reporters at TV stations so they can go and try to punish men for it. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Oh, no, people, I stand on what I just said. I stand on that. No. All men are not useful. All men are not productive. All men are not handsome. And it's okay to say that. Well, guess what? All women are not pretty. No, they are not. Let's stop that nonsense. Well, if we weigh ourselves, no. You're looking for an out. You're looking for an out. You're looking for a way to water it down. No, all women are not pretty. Some are. A lot of them are physically unattractive. They're not physically appealing. You got funny shaped lips. You got crazy shaped eyes. One of your eyes is next to the nose. The other one's looking straight. The crazy eye thing. They ain't fly. You don't have eyebrows. Your teeth look like they're all going on separate vacations. Your lips are shaped like calamari. No, all females are not pretty. And when it comes to males, we have to accept that and then make adjustments. But we're being told that males cannot, because the females expect us to make adjustments to be our best. We don't get to tell females that we're all the same. We're told that we have to make adjustments to become our best. Okay. Well, that goes for the females too. You're not all pretty. Some of you are going to have to work and make adjustments to be your best so that we as men will actually desire you. That's the way it works. It's working perfectly fine when you do it to us. Caller from 860, you're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what up, Big Jason? This is Ro from 860. I want to call in on this one. I had a situation one day. I was on Facebook, and it parallels to what you're talking about, where there's this picture of this young black boy kneeling like a footstool and having his sister stand on his back to drink water. And I kind of questioned that. And I said that I didn't feel like it was appropriate that a parent should teach their child, their son that behavior. Like, I remember there was an incident when I was coming up as a child, and my dad was like, no, you help lift your sister up by like a belly-to-belly situation. You push her up, and you help her to the drinking thing, or you find the stool, but you don't actually become a stool. I find that was just like not cool. You get what I mean, Jason?
Well, yeah. I mean, they turned into a situation where literally now they are turning us into damn me servants. So they're not going to stop abusing us. That's the thing that we have to understand. They're not going to get to a point where abusing us is okay and then they stop. Their goal now is literally to put us into forced servitude. Period. That's literally the goal now, is subhuman in servitude status. That's what it's about now.
And the craziest thing about it, though, is like I had a brother. He was really going hard against me about this issue. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, I'm not here to simp for some women about this. Like, if this was my son, I'll be ready to fight over this issue. I'll be ready to fight over this picture. Because I look at it like you're ripping the soul. You're castrating this young man. And then I say it was probably some single-parent mother wanted to take a picture, a single parent or dysfunctional household or whatever, taking a picture of this child and thinking that it's a good thing, and they just embarrassing this kid and throwing it on social media.
Well, that's abuse, and we've raised a lot of females to feel that they. Well, we've had raised a lot of females. Okay, we've raised a lot of females to believe that their children are their property. You've even had the courts giving them the idea that their sons are not their children, that their sons are their property. And when females are left alone to raise a boy, they typically turn him into a playmate. They don't treat the boys like they do their girls. They don't see their daughters as their playmates. They want to turn her into a woman. When it comes to the boys, however, they start having the idea of turning him into a playmate. Why? Because she doesn't know how to turn him into a man. She doesn't know what to do with him. The boy's just here. She does not know how to turn a boy into a man. She has no idea. Let me ask you about tonight's central question here. Are all females pretty?
Hell no. Hell no, Jay.
Why do you say that?
That's impossible. It's because it's like you said, like in some regards, if you're just basing off of aesthetics, there are certain features that some people find desirable. And some of those desirable features are some of them are universal. Like some people might find a more fit woman very, very appealing. So like, and to say that is count against a woman for like for a man to be attracted, I think is kind of ridiculous. I think it's really far fetched, and I feel like that's what sometimes some women try to paint guys, like put them into that type of box. You know what I mean?
Well, here's my thing right here. I don't want everybody to get it wrong. See, whenever we have this discussion, we talk about, well, are all women pretty? We sit up here and try to sugarcoat it and water it down. And then we start echoing what the females say. Well, take a look at her character and her heart. No, some females are smoking hot from their toes to their tips of their heads. Some females are smoking hot. It just is what it is. There are attributes that make you attractive. Some females got it. There's been the landmark study that said that symmetry is usually what determines what we call good looks. I mean, that certainly helps. I mean, I think that's certainly a good component of it. I mean, if you're not, one side of your face looks different from the other side, okay, Houston, we have a problem. But there are things that make you beautiful. There are things that make you attractive. It is a real thing, and it really exists. When you sit up here and say all girls are beautiful, then you're saying that beauty does not exist, except in the delusion of the look of the onlooker. That's not true.
Jason,
beauty is a real thing,
Jason, I want to chime in on
it really
that.
exists.
I respectfully, I want to chime in on that. It's like when people have, like, I used to run cross country back in the day, and I used to hate when they give the award to everybody. Like, if you first, it's because you first. You have the skills, you put in the work, whatever the clever, you're first. Like, when I graduated out of high school, I started to know that they got all these participation awards type of thing, where everybody's the effing winner. And, like, you get where I'm going at with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and understand, they like that. Single mothers love participation trophies. Why? Because your sons are getting involved in sports and things you know nothing about. You don't know a damn thing about contact football. You don't know a damn thing about basketball. You can't play. Don't let any female tell you that she's a great basketball player. You always have females telling you about how great they play basketball. Please, you're a joke. You're a good basketball player compared to other females. You have never been a good basketball player with the sorriest male on the court. It's a joke, okay? It's a sad joke. We let y'all say it, but the truth is it's a joke. It's an insult to our intellect and intelligence. But a single mother doesn't know what to do, so of course since she can't help her son become better, and if she can't get a man to take interest in him to help him become better, well, then she knows his inability to perform. Because remember, the girls are told that they don't have to perform, but the boys are never told they don't have to. So when you see that your son cannot perform, well, yeah, his inability to perform is going to put him at the bottom. So the only thing you can do is say, well, hell, throw out the standards. Throw out the standards. Why do we have to keep score? What? Because every time you keep score, you keep exposing my lack of ability to train my son, my lack of ability to teach him. Everybody can see what I didn't do. So throw out the scoreboard. We don't need that anymore. So right now we've allowed this feminist tyranny to become absolutely catastrophic and diabolical at this point, to the point that they're not going to stop hurting these boys. They're just going to say, well, hell, we got the ability to do it. We have the power. We have the access. And so what? We will blow up the world if it means we don't take accountability. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 567. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Netta. I'm calling from Toledo.
Netta from Toledo. And do you believe that all women are beautiful?
I do not think that all women are beautiful. I am a hairstylist, and I assure you I have to work a little bit harder on some women than I do on others. But even besides that, I think the point that you made about women that are not attractive having an attitude to match, I think that is so true. And the thing that's so hypocritical about this whole thing that they're trying to push on the boys is because the way that women treat other women is ridiculous. For example, like bigger women, when they see a skinnier woman, a slimmer woman coming, they will pounce on her. They will team up and dog you because there's not very many women that aren't, obese in our communities, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but, it is what it is. And they see a slimmer woman coming, and they'll be the first one to, dog walker, as they say.
Well, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that, though. Wait. It goes beyond that. Let's just be very, very clear. It goes beyond that because when you have a group of females get together, you all don't treat each other like everybody's equally pretty. That has never happened. This is the insanity of this, is telling the boys that all women are pretty, but women don't treat each other like all women are pretty. You all are very quick and very ruthless to make it very clear who make the cut and who don't. Don't let y'all sit up here and be in competition for somebody's man or whatnot. Y'all are cutthroat. Y'all are cutthroat.
Preach.
So if chicks don't sit up here and treat each other gently about that, if you don't make the grade and you don't make the cut, if your shoes ain't on point, women will sit here and rip each other about color coordinating socks. Oh, your socks don't match your belt. They are ruthless about that with each other. So I'll be damned to sit up here and tell boys that they have to treat females like there's no hierarchy, and females establish a hierarchy with each other the moment y'all walk in the room. Anybody who's ever been to Sephora, I've taken many a female to Sephora, the Mac store, Christian Louboutin. Hierarchy is there. Stunting is there.
Yeah.
Being ruthless is there. Anybody who's been to the beaches of Miami knows that females are out there making other females feel bad, but that's on the beach. At the mall, I'm talking about a real mall. I'm sorry, folks. If you're from a mid-sized city like I am, those are not real malls. I'm talking about if you're one of those major metropolitan areas. Sorry. But you go to one, I'm talking about a real mall in a city that actually has a pedigree for that kind of thing. So, now we're talking, Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, DC, so Beverly Hills, LA. So just understand, if you're in a place that has a pedigree for that, and that's the get down, Yeah, they're going to establish hierarchy quickly. You sitting up here jiggly and wiggly coming through this. Like, for example, there are certain stores that don't have anything over a size 10. Certain designers don't make clothes that are bigger than a size 10.
Yeah, remember Beyonce just got they were going at her for not making Ivy Park in plus sizes.
Well, I'm just saying the real issue here is that there are certain designers who don't make things for people who aren't too big. We're all of us out here are allowing those who don't make the cut to live in their delusion. But the truth of the matter is, no, as women, when you go into the female world, man, y'all are ruthless about that. And women are ruthless in disqualifying each other. Any job you go to, I don't give a damn if you work at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, AT&T, the federal government, women are real quick to tear each other down and make it very clear. As a woman, as a man who has shopped for many a female, and I've told this story before to everybody, let y'all know, I know the get down. Happened once with a pair of Balmain knockoffs. And for example, females will not tell other females where they shop. If you have a nice,
that's definitely true.
If you have a nice outfit and nobody else got it, and it doesn't have a label that just reveals what it is or where it's from, y'all ain't gonna tell them nothing. You're not gonna tell another female how to get the outfit you got, how to get the shoes you got. Y'all are gonna make sure, if I've got the edge, I got the edge. Y'all don't sit up here and do that. There is no camaraderie among females. Y'all don't tell each other about shoes. You don't tell each other about hair. You don't tell each other about outfits. If another female ain't got it.
I get clients of mine. I'm sorry. I get clients of mine that have actually not referred me to some of their people because they don't want them to come to the same person to get their hair done.
Well, yeah.
I literally had clients tell me that.
Yeah, you had clients who are like, I actually have a good hairdresser, and if somebody asks them, I do my hair myself. Yes. Okay, how the hell did you get so good doing hair? Yeah, and you sitting there like, heifer, if you don't start handing out some business cards, I can't starve over here because. But yes, that is typical female behavior, typical female attitude. This idea that males need to do more than the females are doing for each other. That's the criminal part of this. Telling the males that they need to do more than the females. They need to be better. They need to treat females better than females treat themselves. Now, the females can treat you like dog crap as a male, but the males, we have to treat the women better than they even treat each other, better than they even treat themselves. Now, this is what does not come up in the subject. This doesn't come up in the conversation. But women are ruthless about this. Women let each other, talking about all women are beautiful. You let the cross-eyed chick come to work, just got her hair done. No, I'm serious. You know damn well I'm telling the truth. All women are beautiful. Bull crap. You let the little cross-eyed chick with the buck teeth go get, even if she comes to see you with your fabulous hair making skills. Even if she comes to see you, you can sit here and be like, okay, her hair is a 10. I can't help them eyes and them teeth, but the hair is on point. Send her back to work. Send her back to work and watch what's going to occur. Watch what they're going to say.
Yeah,
watch what they're going to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be the women talking about her hair is done. And as soon as she walks by, can y'all believe that heifer thing she's done? Boom. That hair show didn't fix them eyes. And you know this.
Yes,
know this. You know that's exactly what is going to occur. That's exactly what they're going to do. It's not going to be the men. The men are going to be far more merciful. We're going to take a look at her from the head down to her feet. Problem is, females, you can't do nothing with a woman from the neck down. So it's just like, if it ain't hitting, it ain't hitting. Men have a wider standard. Right. So we're actually far more forgiving than females are with each other. That's the real problem of this, that is teaching boys the lie that we are more restricted when in fact we are far more lenient. We're far more accepting of females than females are with each other. We have no problem telling you where we bought our shoes. We have no problem telling you females where we bought our shoes. Y'all won't even tell each other where you eat lunch at. If it's anything good. If you get a deal, if a man gets a deal on a car, he'll tell everybody he knows. If a female gets a deal on a car, she ain't gonna say nothing. Certainly not gonna tell the other females. So miss me with this, what males need to do and whatnot. We treat females, in this society, we treat females better than they treat each other out of necessity, because we do more with a female than females do with each other. Let's be very, very clear about that. As a man, we can do more with a female than your girlfriends can do with you. Your girlfriends are never going to be able to do the things with you we can do. So by definition, we have to treat you better. By definition, we have to. Because you've got inexpendable things for us. Another female, you ain't got nothing for her. Go back and go. Anyone who wants to doubt me about that, go listen to my Galentine's Day program for Valentine's Day this year. Go listen to that and watch all the females who said, I'll be damned if I'm going to buy another female a gift. And I'm like, wait a minute, what about the sisterhood? This will be about how much you value them. They're like, I ain't never valued the chick enough to buy her nothing. I'm like, well, we're men. We spend thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, that's great for y'all, but you've been her friend for 20 years. She ain't worth a diamond necklace? Hell no. And one of my female associates said it best. She said, why would I spend a bunch of money to make another female look better than me? Now, dudes, males will have no problem taking their dudes with them and be like, hey, bro, we got to get your dress code up to par. We got to get you got to get you up to dress code. And we don't have a problem doing that. With females, it will only happen like an older female with a younger female. But like with an office of females, it's like, okay, if they do make that trip with you, I guarantee you it's going to be traumatic before you get there. But most females there'll be very, very few females who will do that. Most of them are going to be sitting there talking about you behind your back. Or if you're lucky, they'll talk about you behind your back. If you're not lucky, they're going to talk about you in your face. And let you know that I look better than you. They're going to let you know that. And as a female, you know this starts in elementary school. This don't even make it to high school. We're not talking about high school. This starts in elementary school. If your borettes ain't right, you can get dissed.
Yeah.
If your My Little Pony ain't up to code, you can get dissed. If the comb that you use ain't right, you can get dissed. If the buckle on your little shoe ain't right, you can get dissed. That's the way it is. And males don't have nothing to do with that. So we're creating this fabricated make-believe world where the males are sitting around here having all this influence and the females are treating each other like princesses, and it would all be great if the males would stop, quote, objectifying the females. Females objectify themselves by definition with no males around at all, because femininity doesn't have value in their circles. So there's something that they have to export somewhere else. But by definition, it requires establishing hierarchy. And when females see an opportunity to vote another female off the island, off you go. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 954. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Donna. I'm calling from the South Florida area.
Okay, did you say your name was Darla?
Donna.
Donna. And where are you are you calling from, Donna?
Oh, from the Fort Lauderdale area.
All right, Donna, calling from Fort Lauderdale. I was through there a few months ago. What's on your mind?
Yes, I just wanted to state my opinion. No, not all females are beautiful, because, that's just real life. And it's unfair, for anyone to expect men to find every woman beautiful. Beauty is subjective. And a man's desires should not be controlled.
Well, let me go beyond that, though, because there's something I want you all to take away from tonight's broadcast. Whether or not you believe that beauty is subjective, understand something. Beauty is also objective. It is an objective reality. Beauty is a real thing. It is an actual thing. Now, while you might have some people who deviate because they have a fetish, that doesn't disprove the fact that there is such a thing as beauty. It does have generally similar characteristics. It does have a generally similar definition. And the fact that there are some people who vacillate from one side or another, there are cultural things that might inform it or influence it, but none of them eliminate it. There isn't any cultural, we might have a different standard as far as, when I say different things that we're used to, should we say, as far as females are concerned. But at the same time here, it doesn't change the fact that it exists. So in the European culture, they want them on the more slender side. Among black men, we don't want them to look quite so scrawny. Among Latinos, it tends to vacillate. Now, the problem is, in today's society, we allow broke dudes to chime in. Now, it used to be a man had to have some standing before he could talk, because we understood a broke dude gonna take what he can get. He's a scavenger. Scavengers will take what they can get. And females are well advised not to listen to scavengers. But as men, we understand, you don't want to listen to somebody who doesn't have standing because he's going to take anything. Beauty is a real thing. It really exists. It actually exists in the real world amongst all of us. It is not an opinion. It is not a belief. It's not dependent upon her character, her ethics, her principles. Now, when you talk about whether or not you find her to be attractive, well, then you're talking about your experiences with her can affect her attractiveness. Well, sure, her attitude will not, her looks are not going to necessarily outweigh her attitude or the things she's done. Sure, that's truth. But I'm talking about before you get there. Before you get there, here's the real thing about it. When you put people on dating apps, for example, that's where the real damn thing comes out. If you put folks on dating apps, that the real thing comes out, because he's going to have to live with this. He's going to have to live with it. When you put people in a situation where, okay, we're giving you the ability to be on this website and you pay us a fee and you have the ability to choose whatever you want. Okay, all these dudes can sit up here and tell you whatever the hell they want to. They ain't swiping left or swiping right or swiping up or whatever it is nowadays. I don't know which one it is, but they ain't swiping on Citibay. They're not swiping on, they're not sitting up here saying, wait. I cannot make this decision before I get to know her soul. You never heard that.
True.
Was it that site, that bullcrap site now, was that Bumble with that little gender warring, man hating, awful little creature who's the CEO of it or whatever, who basically wants to make it where women can catfish the men on the site and whatnot? Why would the man use the site? Does the men need to all leave and let the women sit there and play with each other, I guess? But what I'm saying is that if that were true, first of all, if that were true for men, take down then tell them that they have to talk to the females before they can see a picture. And if that were true with the females, tell the females you don't get a picture at all. You cannot tell the females on these dating sites, you cannot have a picture of the man you're talking to. Not now, not ever. As a matter of fact, if he meets you in person, he gets to meet you wearing a mask. But you never get to actually see him to judge him. Because remember, beauty and looks are subjective and don't really matter. So you don't need to see him because beauty is within. So trust us, he has a beautiful soul, and you should get to know that and just disregard looks altogether. I wonder how long people will stay on the site.
And that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Because we're all visual. Hello?
Well, I mean, okay, that's not true either. That's not true. I have to correct you all about this right now. Like I say, they listen to this old conventional wisdom, and a lot of it is flawed. Men are not visual creatures. Women are visual creatures. Now, let's be clear. Women are visual. Women are visual. There was an incident that happened here last year. There was a guy who did an experiment on Tinder or whatever it was. He got a picture of a model and whatnot, and he basically was saying that he had committed crimes against women and whatnot, or children. I'm sorry, crimes against children. And don't you know that he still got hundreds of females clicking on his profile, asking to talk to him? Talking about, that's in your past, and I'm sure you've learned from it and whatnot. Baby, it wasn't just one or two. He got hundreds. The women did not care. Didn't care.
Wow.
So that men are not visual creatures. Women are visual creatures. Men have 5 types of underwear. Women have about 112. Men's clothing comes in roughly 6 colors. Women's clothing comes in roughly, I think there's 13 million colors now, according to Industrial Light Magic. But let's just be very, very clear. You go take a look at how big the clothing area is for men at your store, and then go take a look at how big it is for the females. Go take a look at how big the shoe section is for the men, then go take a look at how big the shoe section is for the women. And in the women's cases, not even for ergonomic reasons. A lot of y'all's shoes are absolute heel wreckers. I mean, they'll snap they're ankle busters. You all buy shoes specific. I mean, when we're talking about the very term red bottoms, huh? The only part of a shoe that you can't see on a regular basis. And they're some of the most expensive shoes in the world. Because the bottoms are red? That is the very definition of a visual creature. A man would never in his life pay you $1,000 for a shoe simply because you painted the bottom red. We'd never do it. We would be insulted that you would approach us and think we would. Females will buy a shoe simply because the tip on the high heel is chromed in gold, and that will constitute a variation. So on another shoe, the high heel is black, but on our special edition, the tip on the end, like an eraser, is chromed or gold. And for you all, that's a variation. And you all will you'll pay full price for it. You all are the visual creatures. We are physical creatures. We're utilitarian. When we talk about women's body parts and whatnot, you all are trying to subscribe to feminine standards to masculine beings. Babe, let me just explain something to you. When you talk about another woman wearing an outfit, you are only referring to the outfit. Do you understand that? You don't.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You don't mean it the way that we mean it. When we take a look at a woman wearing an outfit, we take a look at the way she's filling it out. You're not really acknowledging that. If you are, you might want to re-examine some things, but you're not looking at her for the same reasons we are. When you talk about she's wearing the hell out that dress, you don't mean it the way we mean it. I don't think you mean it the way we mean it. When a chick walks by and whatnot, just trust me, when you look her up and down, you ain't looking like we looking. We didn't even know that she had shoes on. So you all talk about
you're looking at her backside.
Yeah, think about it. Y'all talk about she had nice shoes. Yeah, because you ain't really trying to look at her rump like that. I bet you we can tell you what color dress she had, what the pattern was, what the texture was, and if she was really hitting, we can tell you who made it probably. We can tell you every detail of it. You can't tell us what the dress really was. You remember what color it was, but you take a look at her shoes and her purse. You ain't taking a look at no cleavage. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not starting there. You're not starting there. You're not starting to see how the clothes treat that. You're not starting to see how it treats her legs. You ain't doing it. And even if you do notice her quote legs, you ain't looking at her legs the way we looking at them. You're not. So it doesn't matter how nice an outfit you see another woman wearing, you don't mean it the way we mean it. You don't appreciate that dress the way we do because we can do more with that outfit than you will ever be able to do. So we appreciate her outfit in dimensions you could never imagine. So it's not subjective. We are not visual, we're physical. And when women wear certain outfits, they are trying to display, hey, I'm good for physical things. I'm better than this other chick over here is for some of this physical stuff y'all want to do. Why do you think women would go get fake breasts? If breasts are only for child feeding, why do you think women get them? I want to look more girly. Okay, there's women out there who are flat-chested and they don't go get implants. No, you're trying to signal to men, choose me. I am a better physical companion. For those physical things you want to do, you got in mind, I'm equipped. I'm ready for that. That's the point I want you to understand. So when we talk about visual creatures, we need to correct the national narrative and dialogue. Men are not the visual creatures. Females are the visual creatures. Y'all got 1,000 hairstyles. Men got about 3 or 4. You all have hundreds of pairs of underwear. Men got about 4 or 5. And literally, to be totally honest with you, we really need, that's probably closer to 3. You all have an endless number of shoes, endless number of dresses. When you take a look at Calvin Klein's line of clothes for men, it's very short. The one for women is endless. So what does that tell you? If men were the visual creatures, why is it that our supply of everything visual is so limited? If we're the visual ones. Think that over for a while. It'll make a little more sense.
Yeah, so I feel for me, I still say if the reason why I say men are visual because men like shapely women. You're not going to go for anybody like Lizzo or Gabby.
Okay, but you say men like shapely women. Okay, so women don't like fit men?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
For me, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what we're saying here is that, okay, it would be different if men were some tremendous outlier, but women are worse about it, to be totally honest. Because you never heard a man sit up here and literally try to get a chick pregnant under those circumstances. Idris Elba would have children all over the damn world if he was willing to. If we want to talk about folk acting on their visual instincts, the only reason that man ain't got 3 million children is because he don't want them. But the females from one side of the ocean to the other would show as hell give it to him based on nothing more than his looks. And we're not even going to talk about that incident years ago where he kind of got caught up in a male situation. We ain't gonna keep bringing it up though, Idris. I'm gonna let that go for you, brother. I'm gonna let that go. But case in point, man, I mean, it's not different for men than it is for women. The problem is that an onus gets put on us. And the only place they can really say that men are visual is when they're talking about with females. Well, yeah, but the other problem is we can do things with a female that you cannot do with another female. And furthermore, that you can't do with a male.
Okay.
She didn't ask what I mean by that.
Okay. All right. I want to know what you mean by that.
Okay.
I was trying to understand, but it's like, no, I need you to explain.
Well, this is why we are the foundation here. And understand, what I'm giving you all is just simply biological science. Don't look for any of your posers, Winosphere people, MGTOW, the rest of them be able to understand this for you or explain it to you because they can't, because they don't know. A man invests in a woman. You see, as a woman, when you meet a man, you expect him, how he's dressed, you expect him to be put together then. When I'm looking at you as a female, I'm thinking about how I'm going to turn you into my female. As a woman, when you get with a man, you want him to be built and ready so that you can join his program. But as a man, when I take a look at you, I got to think, okay, how am I going to make you part of the program? So yeah, you might walk through the door and the dress that you're wearing is hidden. But I'm going to, as a man, I'm going to look at you and see, okay, you might, because here's the thing you have to understand. You might be a candidate. You see, as a man, I can change your life. As a man, I can change your life. You can't really change mine like that, but as a man, I can change your life if you look a certain way. But understand, what made you suitable for the previous man ain't gonna make you suitable for me. So from the moment you walk in the door, I'm taking a look to see if you're equipped, if you're ready. Let's see where you rank in the hierarchy. Because at some point, I might have to make that move. So yes, I'm looking you up and down. I want to see how it sits. I want to see if you know what you're doing. I want to see if your bra straps are showing. I need to see how much work I might have to put into this. Or if you're going, I need to also understand something. This also plays into the protector aspect of it. A man who is intelligent is aware of his surroundings. I am aware of it. You know why? Because if I see a hitting ass female around, if I see a chick who's a 10, as a man, I know 9 chances out of 10 she's got a dude. Where is he? So just instinctively, these are things that just take over instinctively. I want to see how good she looks because I want to know, is there another alpha around here? Now, I didn't go where you all thought I was going to go. I'm giving you the 720 degrees you don't get anywhere else. I want to know, is there another alpha here? I want to know, do I have competition? I want to know where his head's at. Let's just be very, very clear about that. I want to know where his head's at. I want to know where she got, because if she's here, there might be another predator nearby. If your chick look like Lori Harvey, I need to know. If the broad looks like Lori Harvey, I need to be aware of this. Because what comes through the door next might be Michael B. Jordan. Then again, it might be P. Diddy. And some of them old scandalous niggas she was running with. So you see, I need to be aware of the scenario. I need to be aware of my environment. I need to be aware. This chick here ain't just the average female. I've checked her out. I can see what's going on. She's wearing a perfume. Okay, that's some expensive stuff you got going on there. The Chanel is doing what it do. The House of Solage is doing what it do. Okay. I need to be aware. I need to know these things. So, yes, I'm looking to see exactly how well put together is she. Does she have it naturally? I need to be aware of all these things. And yes, there's an aspect of male nature. They might be sitting up here, running them over with their eyes and stuff like that. Of course, that's biological. But let's just be very, very clear. By the same token, that's biological. That's not really visual. Because visual is something you just sit there and look at. A man ain't really going to just sit there and ogle you. Like, women are the ones who talk about going to museums and staring at stuff. A man ain't really going to sit there and just stare at a still picture for no length of time. That's not really going to happen. So we have a lot of that projected at us that's really not the same thing. But just understand, when we do that, there are dimensions to it. And every male listening to me right now knows everything I'm saying is correct. Now, some of the broke ones, all right, because they've never had to worry about that. But they understand that's really what you do. Any guys who have been on a college campus, you know full well if there's a new chick at the school, it's like, okay, you don't necessarily go running up and talking to her no matter how good she looks. You need to know the lay of the land. You need to know, did she come here by herself? Is she with somebody? Is he about to come walking in the door? Yeah, you check her out, but you check her out, number one, to see, is she worthy of, is she a prospect to be invested in? And how much work am I going to have to do to fix this up? That's first and foremost what the male mind is thinking. Once again, remember, this comes back to utility, physical, not visual. Hey, you look kind of cute. You look kind of cute. Let me see what you got here, because just understand something. There's a difference. If a chick come through the door, with her Levi's, and then another chick come through the door with her Calvin Klein jeans on, that's a difference in hierarchy. And if one chick comes through the door with her Michael Kors shoes on, and another one comes through with another 10 comes through with her Prada, I need to notice all this. I need to notice her dress. I need to notice if a man's smart, you need to notice all of that. Take a look. Does she look like she goes to the gym? Oh, this one's competitive. So there are a lot of nuances. We're taking in tons of information. Just what you all think is a glance or looking her up and down, we're taking in tons of information. I don't give a damn if it's the most craven street dude. We're doing calculations. We are not just, quote, looking. We're doing calculations. We're determining how much I want to invest in her, how much I want to spend. Now, the next thing you might say is, well, you can't be doing that with all of them because y'all do that with all the females. Yes, once again, that is a part of male competition because that's called wargaming. Just like when males walk into a room, and every male listening to me right now knows, if you've been to a restaurant, that's one of the most vulnerable places you can be is at a restaurant. That's vulnerable. As a female, you don't understand this. Let me explain it to you. When we go to a place like that, we have to keep in mind we could get killed. Somebody could come in shooting. So I'm one of them kind of guys that when I go to a restaurant or whatever, the first thing I look for is where the exits are. I want to know where the exits are. And when I sit down and stuff, no, give me sometimes I might want a table. Sometimes I might want a booth. It depends on the layout of your restaurant. Now, when I see another male walk by, that looking up and down thing we do with the females, guess what? We do that for the guys too. Just not the way that you as a female do it to the guy. I'm taking a look at his hands. I'm taking a look at his shoulders. I'm taking a look at how steady he walks. Does he walk like he's got a good, strong gait to him? Or is he walking kind of rickety? Does he walk kind of sweet back? Because, of course, I'm thinking, before the night is over, I might have to bust this fool's head open. I need to make these calculations now. I need to be aware of his capabilities now. I might have to dump him on his damn head before the night's over. I need to be aware of this now. Let me see what shoes he's wearing. What kind of shirt? Is he dressed like he came here to eat and nothing else? Or is he dressed like he could eat and fight tonight? Is he one of them people? Like, especially if you're the restaurant that serves alcohol. As a female, you don't even think this way, but you project your female expectations onto me as a male. In the chat room, you're correct. We size them up. And this is what we as men naturally do. If a dude walked through the door and he looked like, notice the difference between what I'm about to say. When a female walks through the door and she's been to the gym, oh, that's good. She's upgraded. She's trying to be at the top of her game. She's competitive. Well, if I see a guy walk through the door and he's muscular like he's been in the gym, I'm like, okay, this dude could be trouble. I got to deal with him a little bit different. I might have to shoot low and pick him up from the waist and drop him. Might not be able to sit here and throw hands with him like that. Might have to, like in MMA, shoot and tackle him. Once I got him on his back, then we'll see what's what. These are calculations that as a female, you don't even think about. You looked at that guy, guess what? So did I. But we were both looking for different things. And just like we size up every female, or there's a lot of guys who do that. I don't necessarily do that because I don't think your attention should be split that much, but you damn sure need to be aware of your environment. I need to be aware if it's a female, she might have some little black kids in the back of her damn car. So I need to know. But let's just be understood here. Every male listening to me right now in the sound of my voice, live or recorded, understands when we go somewhere, like when you're sitting in a booth at the bar, at the restaurant, and you see like two dudes, one of the servers is bringing two dudes by you or whatever. It's like we try not to make eye contact because just understand that can be an issue. Try not to make eye contact, but I'm going to glance. I want to see how tall you are. I want to see who you with. I want to see what you're built like. I want to see what you're wearing. I want to know. I'm sizing you up. I want to be aware. This is what men do with other men. That awareness that you're talking about, and we look at every single one who comes through there. Some of them going to be short. Yeah, but he might be short and stocky. Okay, he's short and stocky and got tattoos on his arms and whatnot. I need to see what them tats look like. Dude might be in and out of jail. I don't know what's going on. Let me check him out and see what's going on here. He came in here wearing nothing but a Brooklyn Dodgers tank top. Okay, well, he could eat or he could fight. He's dressed for either one. Let me take a look here and see. Okay, he's wearing a Brooklyn Dodgers tank top, but I took a look at his hair. He got his hair done up like Salt Bae. Okay, well, I see your hair, dude. Okay, you got your hair did up all like Salt Bae. You must have paid about $150, $200 for that do you got on your head. You ain't come here to fight. Okay. You stocky built, but if I ran up on you, you'd be like, hey, I don't want no trouble. Okay. It is. That's the calculation I'm making. You got your hair did like that. You a little pretty boy. Okay. I see what your muscles are for. So just understand there's in all those areas there, none of that was visual. All of that was utilitarian. All of that was physical. And being physically aware. So these are calculations that most men can't even articulate to you. Now, all of them will agree with what I just said. Most of them, if you ask them, they would never volunteer this information because they can't really articulate it. I can actually articulate what it is they think and what it is they feel and why they're doing it. So you're just taking it as they looking chicks up and down. Well, I mean, yeah, we do, but by the same token, we don't do it for the reasons you do. When you look a man up and down, of course you're thinking, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to get next to him. But there's a deeper thing to that. And I'm not going to say for men, I'm not going to say it's deeper. I'm going to say there's multiple dimensions to it. Because when we take a look at a chick, we're thinking, is this one I want to change her life? Is this one I want to upgrade? Let me take a look. Can she be upgraded? Or is she so well put together that upgrade is moot at this point? Those are the calculations we make. I'll let you have the last word.
No, well, I thank you for the explanation. It's very much understood. Thank you for explaining that to me.
She sounds so through. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Donna. Please do give us a call again. Somebody in the chat room typed Salt Bay, B-A-Y. No, use Google. Caller from area code 760. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? With this.
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, dude, your phone was sitting over there clicking to beat the band a moment ago. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Okay, all right. My name is Robert. Yeah, but you call me Rob. But anyway, all I can say was I was feeling that guy's story. I forgot exactly what was said because you was putting pictures up and then I was talking, so I forgot exactly what the guy said. But from what I got from his story is that I don't know his name, but I got from the story was that his mom tried to make him not want much, but he went after his. That's all I got. But I wasn't trolling.
Okay, well, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I guess my mods told him to call in, and he's getting all squeamish. Let me get a call from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jimmy J. Smooth. What's popping and what's dropping, brother Jason Black?
All right, Jimmy, what's on your mind?
Man, not every woman is beautiful. I totally agree with your point, man. Not every woman is beautiful, man. And if you want to look at some mugshots, when you see mugshots, the ugliest women are on some fucking mugshots. So I'm in total agreement with what you said when it comes to ugly women. A lot of times, them ugly women be having the worst attitude in history. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from experience. I tried to date a fat chick in my 20s years ago, man, and them women be having all types of problems and all types of attitudes and stuff like that. So
well, they got fat for a reason.
You shouldn't even try to convince. Say what now?
They got fat for a reason.
Exactly. So you shouldn't even try to convince anybody that every woman is beautiful, man, because everybody don't have the same standards. So I'm in total agreement with what you're saying, man.
Well, I mean, but also, once again, beauty is a real thing. Folks like to use phrases like it's subjective. Exactly. No, it's not. Beauty, I mean, it can be subjective, but understand more than anything else, the foundation isn't to say that beauty is subjective. That's a true statement, but the ultimate truth is that beauty is a real thing. It really does exist. It really is a real thing. It is an objective reality. And the sooner that we understand that and accept that, the sooner that you can start dealing within that framework. But if you come at it from this position that beauty isn't real and I can bully other people into telling me that I'm beautiful, even if I'm not, well, if beauty's not real, you shouldn't want anybody to be beautiful at all. There's a real problem. But, and that's, of course, if you're a person who doesn't qualify, of course, it's like, well, if I can't win, nobody should win. And that's where we are right now. A bunch of folks who don't really qualify are saying, well, if I can't have it, nobody should. And that's criminal. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 703. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason B1. It's Brian calling out of Ashburn, Virginia.
Brianna out of Ashburn, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I would say that, no, it's not. If all girls were pretty, that little young girl in Delaware wouldn't have died in the bathroom by some other girls.
Well, they're certainly not treating each other well. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 832. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Robert Higgins, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Robert from Houston, what's on your mind?
I just want to thank you for what you did. I'm the guy with the single, that's basically the single parent with the daughter. And to piggyback off of what you said, what I've seen is this ain't the first time this has happened. Toyota was actually running an ad campaign where they had the girl saying that she was actually going to play NFL football. And they were socially engineering this like it was supposed to be like a girl is going to actually take field with men on there that are 250, 300 pounds running a 4. And I'm like, they are really gassing our women to think on a level that they can compete like that. And I think that they've been using sports and all of these type of women. Another girl that used to be on ESPN, she used to champion this type of stuff. And I'm looking at the reality of it, and I'm like, that's not going to happen. But they keep on putting this socially engineered stuff out just for our women to be competitive against men. And that's not the way things go in society.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now they've been deluded into thinking that they can bully us into accepting anything. That's the problem that you have now is the females who basically what's happened here is the females who are the losers have been empowered to believe that they can bully men into accepting them. So now the losers are trying to tell everybody that they have to accept them. With no changes on their part, with no improvements, no alterations, they really do believe that they are entitled to that and that they understand they can't get it, but they do believe they can bully their way into getting it. That's the delusion.
And I want to thank you too. Because I'm actually within the next 2 weeks going to take my A+ certifications in my IT networking.
Good.
And I'm gonna be up and running.
Well, good. That's the way that you really change things, because the bottom line is male and female nature is not going to change. But you are not going to have leverage in this rigged economic system unless you show people that you've got the ability to reward people. When you show you got the ability to reward folk, then they're not going to be listening to their friends like that. Now you got leverage. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 630. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason, I'm Dominique.
Okay, dude, I don't know where you're calling from, but you got a lot of background noise there, so I don't know if you're on Bluetooth speaker or whatever. I can give you a moment to take it off, but we got a lot of background noise.
My bad. I'm driving my tractor trailer right now.
Okay. I'm gonna see if we can just come back to you here because you got a lot of background noise going on there, so I don't want folks to have to fight to be able to make out what you're saying. Let me get caller from area code 313. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Detroit.
John from Detroit. What's on your mind?
I was looking at the pin now you had of the lady that's squatted down, the big heavy set woman with her clown clothes on. And what I think happens is these women, before they put on their makeup and everything, it's just terrible. And once they put their makeup on, everything is absolutely, they think they are beautiful in their eyes because they were so much less attractive before. So I think once they put on that makeup and crap, then they get so much confidence that they really think that they are beautiful because they are much more beautiful than them.
Well,
You know
under
what I'm
normal
saying? When they see
circumstances,
them.
what you're saying is correct under normal circumstances. I want you to be aware, though, you got size 16s out here today thinking they flexing. You got size 18s thinking they flexing. You got chicks who look like they put on their makeup with a spackle knife, thinking they're flexing. You got chicks with tattoo sleeves. You know, you got chicks, I mean, like I say, looking like they got, like their makeup person was Bozo the Clown. So we're dealing with a whole lot more than just, well, they think they're putting on makeup makes them better. Of course, makeup can improve your looks. But today, we got chicks who don't even know what to do with it. So they're just wearing it on GB, to be totally honest. They don't even know what to do with it here. But under normal circumstances, what you're saying is true, but not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that you would do something to improve your looks. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. It is another thing, though, to insist that everybody else be in denial of what you are without it. And let's just be very, very clear. Once again, yeah, makeup can help even out an uneven skin tone, or if you got, acne or something. Yeah, makeup can help with that. Makeup is not going to get rid of your sleepy eye. There is no amount of lip gloss that is going to get rid of that flappy lip you got or that overbite.
Right.
There's no amount of contouring or eyeliner that is going to get rid of that cross eyes. And there is no amount of teeth whitening that's going to get rid of that dragon mouth, alligator mouth thing you got. Those aren't going to work. So there's only so much you can do.
That's right. One more thing. This is the first time I ever called into any show. I really appreciate your show and keep up the good work, sir.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We're glad to have you here with us. I'm going to try my caller here one more time. Caller from 630. Checking to see if things are a little bit quieter on your end. You're back online with the business.
All right, I'm Dominique from Aurora, Illinois.
Okay, we can actually hear you now. Dominique from Illinois, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, there is ugly women, there is beautiful women. And my mother always told me, she said, always go for a woman that either is on your level or above your level, nothing below that. Father always told me, he said, never spread your seed with, ugly women. So.
Well, because when the man takes a look at a woman, he's going to sit over and say, well, this kid's going to carry over attributes of you.
Right.
And now women are allowed to do that. Women are allowed to do that. Because if you're 5'2", the females are taught they have no problem telling you, oh, I don't want to have kids with you. Well, why not? Well, I don't want little short kids. You're short. If I have kids with you, they're going to be short. So women are allowed to be ruthless and are allowed to tell us that we are physically undesirable. And then we're told that you can't say the same thing. You can't have a standard for yourself. You just get to absorb the impact of everybody else's. But nobody is insisting that goes both ways. And the problem is you're never going to get rid of that. When it's time for a man to invest, he's going to put his money where it serves him. It's not going to be no school principals. It's not going to be the public school system. None of them are going to be able to help that. Eventually, at some point, you are going to have to deal with the men where they are, as they are, and that's the bottom line. You will not be able to rig the system. You won't be able to game the system. Eventually, what they're really doing is hurting the females because they're telling them a lie. They're telling the females the lie that if we just bully the males enough, they will just accept us all the way we are, and we will no longer have to. We'll be in this utopia where we will all be equally eligible. So if we all just band together, that's what this detestable, despicable little creature here with that letter she sent out trying to target these young black males. If we all just band together, then we can bully the males into making us all equally eligible. That's the real goal.
90 seconds.
That's what they're getting at. That's what she's trying to say. If we can bully the males into making us all equally eligible, then that's okay. That's what will happen. And the truth of the matter is that's not going to occur. You're out there rolling the road right now. You ain't rolling the road because you want a lesser life. You're rolling it because you want a better one. And when it's time for you to dispense your benefits, you're going to put them where they serve you best. And the bottom line is every woman is not equally capable of serving your benefits. Every woman is not equally able to do that. So they're really setting these chicks up for failure because they're going to come out of school expecting that, okay, everybody's been indoctrinated, and it's not true. The guys are going to get access to Instagram, OnlyFans, or whatever. That school is not going to save you. The school is not the real world. The school's not the real world. And they're going to come out here expecting that bull crap that these folks set up at the school and bullied at the school when they were in Atlanta. And then take a look at what's happening. Take a look at what's happening in schools like Spelman and whatnot. And Morehouse. The girls are too fat to be able to do anything. Nothing attractive going on there. And consequently, nobody's trying to marry them and nobody's trying to be protector and provider for them. Well, yeah, that's a predictable result. You can't bully men into investing in a female that they do not desire. You can't do that. And even if your mama told you that, at some point, you're going to have to make this decision for yourself. That's where the rubber meets the road and that's where the wheels fall off. I'll let you have the last word.
Right. Well, all I'll say is I just couldn't imagine the if I brought home like a big fat ghetto chick and I brought her to the family reunion, they'd be like, man, he's done lost his damn mind. I don't know what the hell happened to Dominique because he got better standards than that. We taught him better than that, you know. Like, we all hold each other to a higher standard in my family. So when I get around these other black males and they over here talking about this, nothing wrong with a big girl and all that, I'm like, man, like, what are y'all smoking on? This is new to me. But that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on either Cash App, PayPal, or Super Chat. Thank you very much for that. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program. It's very much appreciated. So thank you very much for doing that as well. And Virgilio Myers, thank you very much for your support in the Super Chat. Bernard B. and everybody else who has. Thank you very much for your help tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 408. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, this is Jovi calling from San Jose, California.
All right, Joe. From where in California?
Jovi from San Jose, California.
Okay, San Jose, California. All right, what's on your mind?
So, yeah, I would like to say that the idea that all women are pretty is absolutely ridiculous, and it's an utter fallacy if I ever heard one. Recently, I read a book by Nancy Ecoff. It's called Survival of the Prettiest. And in this book, she explains why we are attracted to the opposite sex, and she gives a evolutionary psychological perspective on this. And one thing I took away from the book is, like, with women, like, if they have, like, nice firm breasts, that will be more likely to be attracted to them because I guess they're supposed to be, like, at a childbearing age or something like that. And with men, like, if they have broad shoulders, women will be attracted to men because I guess that's a symbol of strength and protection. And in addition to that, I also want to say that, like, how many women do we actually know that looks good without makeup? And that's all I have to say.
Well, you know, I mean, those are actually physical cues, though. I mean, the broader your shoulder, I mean, think about for animals, the broader the animal is, the more trouble you're going to have. You take a look at your kittens and then you take a look at a bull. Doesn't take very long to figure out. Okay, look how wide he is. That is a power cue. That is a physical power cue. When you talk about breasts, for example, that's a sign of fitness. Why do you think women want to have them full as they can be? That's a sign of fitness beyond just, you know, their utilitarian purpose. It is what the physical appearance speaks and communicates. I am fit. I am healthy. I am well. Why do you think women try to get implants long after their breasts have no longer serving any purpose to feed children? They're trying to communicate to you fitness, fullness, wellness, healthy. So yes, these actually have very real, very actual purposes and reasons. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Hi, my name is Autumn. I'm so excited to be speaking to you. I watch your show a lot, and I'm happy I was able to get through. I'm from New York City.
Okay, Autumn, where at New York are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, Autumn, and are all women beautiful?
I do not think so. I believe that, no, not all women are beautiful, unfortunately.
Why do you say that?
Well, I believe that, some women, of course, I think someone actually touched on that earlier about the makeup and, all the plastic surgery and all the extras that women, we put on. And we think because, we're caked up and we have weave and all that stuff that it makes us pretty. But when you take that stuff off, are you still pretty? After that is
well, I mean, maybe not everybody, but I mean, there are women who are pretty even without it. What about them?
And what do you mean? What about the women who are? I definitely believe there's women who are beautiful without makeup. And I actually wanted to ask your opinion about that. Like, what would you consider? Because you did mention earlier there's a difference between women who are like beautiful versus, I think you said like gorgeous and, cute and, and when people say you're not, most women, they wear makeup. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of women who wear makeup and they look beautiful, like Beyonce and all those women, so what would you consider a natural beauty?
Well, I mean, certainly naturally beautiful. I mean, of course, obviously, first and foremost, if you want to try to avoid, I'm trying to be delicate as I can be. I mean, nobody's really turned on by faces with pits, things like that. Moles all over it and stuff like that. So, I mean, but those are things you can do. The really killing part is that in today's world, there's so much you can do things about. But you have females who would rather go. And today, the women are so lazy. We just need to call it what it is. Females today are so lazy that basic feminine maintenance has now been elevated to the level of some, arcane sorcery is where we are today. So naturally beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing it's always been. Smooth skin, even skin tones, symmetrical face, and things not being all out of whack on your face and whatnot. Your eyes ain't looking in different directions. Right. Your lips aren't shaped like a flat tire, things like that. But here's the really crazy part, though, because you're asking about a natural beauty. Beauty is beauty is object. I want you to remember these three things. Beauty is objective, beauty is subjective, but also beauty is relative. Now, here's where we get into trouble, because I just made that statement. And now all the ugly bust down chicks everywhere are going to try to jump in. Yeah, that's right. You said it is subjective. So you need to let all of us up in here. No, all of you do not need to come up in here. Beauty is subjective, but it is also relative. Every woman, no matter how much you make her up or whatever, is not going to be able to reach the same level. Even with plastic surgery, just because you have access to a plastic surgeon doesn't mean you're going to become a 10. Shout out Khloe Kardashian. Just because you can get to a plastic surgeon does not mean you're going to be a 10. If anything, a plastic surgeon, when he gets done, he can take you one step up the ladder. He can turn a 9 into a 10. He can turn an 8 into a 9. He can turn a 6 and maybe get her over the hump where she could be mistaken for an 8. But he's not going to be able to take a 5 and turn her into a 10. That will never happen. Doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter how many times she goes back. A plastic surgeon can't take a 5 and turn to a 10. The people at the Mac store can't take a 6 and turn her into a 10. That's not the way it works. It's not possible. What we can do is improve what you got, but we're not going to be able to transform you into a different person. So instead of trying to transform you into something different, accept reality number one. There are limitations, and in those limitations, be the best you can be. Be the best you can be. Whatever your hair is, get it in the best shape it can be. Most females today do not even want to do that. And the real problem is, if you're ashamed of the hair that comes out of your head, why should a man be any more confident in you? As far as having your face put together and stuff, there are things you can do. There's stuff you can do to help yourself out. Be in good shape. You know, even if you ain't got the cutest face. Okay, do you need to have an ugly face and a double chin?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you think this over, you know, do you need to have an ugly face and a double chin? Okay, your teeth ain't right. Go see the damn orthodontist. But Jason, I'm 32. True. I'm 32 years old. You better hurry up then. You better hurry. So like I say, there's things you can do. There's stuff that you can do. But chicks would rather pay for a handbag than for some braces. They would rather pay for a pair of shoes than to go to a stylist and get their actual head straightened out. And in the process, all of this basic maintenance they never learn how to do. So no wonder they have to all gang up on the males in society and say, we want to make it a crime for you to say that all of us aren't beautiful. No, you're not all beautiful. Some of you are sluggish, slackered, and lazy. And your appearance says so. You're a lazy slacker on the inside. You're lazy and slovenly on the inside, and your outside communicates that. Now, there are some females who don't have to fight quite as hard. You know, they might have the right body dimensions. They got legs that, you know, don't insult them. Their proportions from their waist up are, you know, slightly less than their proportions from the waist down. Yeah, I mean, there are some of them who don't have hurdles to get over. But the other thing is, like I say, I mean, as men, we have a wide range of body types that we consider to be acceptable, even within fit. We have a wide range that we are willing to accept. We don't have an ideal that we're chasing and it's take it or leave it. There's a range that we accept. And fitting within that range is not that hard. So the real problem that we have is that women, for the most part, don't do what's necessary to become the best versions of themselves. Because a man can appreciate when you are, we can see when you put in work. If you go to the gym 6 days a week, we can't help but notice that. If you actually went to a hairstylist, I can't help but notice that. If you actually have been going to a dermatologist, I can't help but notice that. If you actually went to go get your teeth fixed, I can't help but notice that. Understand that. Take a look at the things I'm naming here. And take a look at how long this list can be. If you've actually done these things, I can't not notice that. We can appreciate when a woman puts work into herself. Yeah, you might still be a 6, but she got a 6 face with a 10 body. Yeah, she doesn't have double D cups. Well, no, she doesn't, but take a look at her proportions. She's got a flat tummy on her. Take a look at her arms. She doesn't have any high bi action going on. She's got muscle tone. So anything she wears is going to be fitting right. That doesn't take makeup. That doesn't take contouring.
I'm taking notes.
What I'm saying is men take a look at I've told y'all, we take a look at a woman in 3 dimensions. We take a look at a woman from the face, we take a look at a woman from the neck down, and then we take a look at her holistically all over. So we see you all in 3 dimensions. Women think we only see in 1. This is why females love perpetuating the idea that all they need to have is a big ass, because they're like, oh, good, I can let myself be fat and sloppy as I want to be, and everything else is going to be all right. And they hate it when we sit up here and tell them, no, that's not the way it works. You got a big ass attached to your big arms, your big gut, and every damn thing else. And what you're really trying to do is get us to lower our standards, because you're looking for a man to be your protector and provider and produce for you. And if you can make the standards ultra simple and ultra remedial and ultra lame, then of course your big sloppy ass qualifies. Of course. But beauty is a holistic thing. Most women, like I say, no man looks at you and says, if she don't look like Beyonce or Lori Harvey, I ain't fooling with her. No man walks up to you with that expectation. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest complaints that women have is that when men cheat on them, that they usually do it with somebody who, y'all all say the same thing. She wasn't as pretty as me. She was fatter than me, this, that, and the other. Yeah, what does that teach you? Did you learn a lesson from that? Yeah, the other chick wasn't, quote, as pretty. Oh, so there's another type of look that he would be willing to accept. You thought it was monolithic. You thought there was just one standard. No, actually there isn't. We have a range. So we teach women this all the time, but they choose to become tone deaf or selectively nearsighted when we tell them what to read. But in reality, we have a range. We always have, and we always will. But when we look at you, we judge you as an individual. We're not comparing you to Pam Grier. We're looking at you and saying, what would be the better version of you? If you're a damn size 16, we're looking at you and saying, I bet you she'd be hitting if she was a size 8. We're not saying, well, she'd be hitting if she was built like Rihanna. We're not saying that to ourselves. We're not comparing you to anybody else other than you. You're the only competition that you have. Your competition isn't celebrities. Your competition is you. When a man takes a look at you, remember, we're physical, not visual. We're physical. We can see if you're not trying. We can see if you are sloppy. We can see if you ain't working. And guess what? We can also see if you are. We can see if you've actually put some work into it. We can see if you're actually ready. We can see if you're actually concerned. We can see that too. That's not something that you should disregard. We can see it. And we're going to judge you from the face, from the neck down, but we're also going to judge you holistically. Your competition is you. You are your only real competition. But the part that women don't like is that when a man first meets you, we're not emotionally attached to you. So all those areas where you're slacking, we're going to be brutally honest that we don't accept you because we can see where you can be better. So what we do is we respond with the sound of silence. You're a size 14 who needs to be half the size you are. You need to be a size 6 or 8. Okay. And we see you, and that's how we're going to respond to you. And likewise, if you're a female who takes it seriously, we can see it. We can see a woman who's got a good body of work. We can see that. We will immediately recognize it. There are too many females who are trying to get credit for things they're not doing, rather than saying, let me show him that I am his best option. Today, they just want to say, look, if we're female, we're all entitled to a man because we're lonely and losers. No. If you put in the work, it will work. But remember, we're not comparing you to Miss America. We're not comparing you to a beauty pageant. We're comparing you to you, which is something that women just don't believe could possibly be real. Yes, we are. We're comparing each of you to yourselves and what we see you could be. And we make our judgment based upon how far you are from what we see, and what we see is the best version of you. Now, if you're already at the best version, great. Too many women are jealous of the females who actually put in the work to be the best version of themselves, and the fat, sloppy ones don't want to do any work. So they want to bully the men into giving them the same rewards that we give the ones who actually do work. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to overlook that. Because if I got to invest in you, I'm going to get my money's worth. My time's worth. I'm going to get that. Let's just be very, very clear. It is in females' nature to want to sit and be taken care of. It is in their nature to do that. So they can sit down and taking care of babies and nurturing this, that, and the other. It's in their nature to want to do that. Okay, everybody wants it. But the problem is, in the current society, what are you doing to qualify for it? You have to be qualified. You have to qualify. You have to be eligible. And if you are not or will not, then it will not work. But when we talk about beauty, I just want you to understand that it's relative. It's relative. You might not be able to do nothing about that big ass. You might not be able to do nothing about, if you've got dragon teeth, you might not be able to do too much about getting your lips back together there, but you ain't going to have a double chin. And you don't have to have ratty makeup. You don't have to have ratty lipstick. You can go buy a good perfume. You can make sure that the rest of you is a shiny timepiece. You can do that. And if women today really took that seriously, the gyms from coast to coast would be full. When that happens, then men will know you all are you're taking beauty seriously. Because just understand, by the same token, there's only so far you can get with your face. Truth be told, I mean, as far as we're concerned with women, it's really going to it skews towards your bodies anyway. It really does. Our preference skews towards, if we have a choice between the face and the body, which is more important, it's always going to skew towards your body because one has a utility and the other one does not. Not really. One has an aesthetic, but not a utility.
Well, that's a problem for someone like me who I'm naturally very skinny and I don't have the curves that a lot of men like. And, I've had that issue growing up. I don't have those curves. And a lot of men, particularly men, black men, they prefer women with bigger butts. And that is why I think some of women, they do want to go out and get plastic surgery. Not necessarily because they're lazy, but because, some people are naturally small.
Okay, well, yes, there are some people who are naturally slender and svelte. No doubt about that. But let's just be very, very clear. If you're slender and svelte, how much fake behind can you pack on yourself before you look silly?
That's true.
Because the real problem we have is too many of you are looking for simplistic answers. You're looking for simplistic solutions to a more nuanced problem. First of all, if you need a bigger ass to give you confidence, the bigger ass is not going to give you confidence. Let's just be very, very clear. You're going to be an insecure person with a bigger ass. Your insecurity will find another place to plant itself, or it'll still keep talking about his ass. I need to get a bigger one. I need to get a bigger one. Bigger will never be enough. Because you'll figure, well, if I get bigger ass, the ass gives me confidence. No, confidence gives you confidence. Being fit gives you confidence. Being aware gives you confidence. Being capable gives you confidence. That's where your confidence comes from. Having a flat stomach so that whether it's your breasts or your behind, you don't have something competing against them. That gives you confidence. Having muscle tone gives you confidence so that you slender down your arms. Going to the gym so that you can shape your legs like gymnasts do, like track stars do. You can shape your body. Problem, a lot of y'all don't want to do that either. A lot of you don't want to do that. Looking for simple answers.
And that's true. And you also mentioned confidence, and you're right. I guess in cases like that, I guess we as women, we need to accept who we are and just accept if someone doesn't want that, we just find someone who does appreciate the slender bodies. So yes, I agree with what you're saying as far as confidence and not, having the surgery to try to fit in, I guess, or to try to.
Well, here's the real issue. Here is the real issue, okay? Kim Kardashian wasn't built like that neither. She behaved herself in such a way until men bought it for her. So my first thing is, if you have to go buy your own plastic surgery, to get a man, it's not going to help you. Because if your attitude and everything else is correct, and if you are really doing the best you can to begin with, dudes are going to see that. Dudes are going to dig that. And you're going to get a guy who's going to say, hey, if that's the way you feel, let's handle that. And that's the way it goes. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it on your own necessarily, but what I am saying is if you're doing it from a position of insecurity, this will not go away. I know a bunch of females who have gotten breast implants and breast reductions, and they never stop going to the plastic surgeon. Insecurity isn't something that can be cured by a trip to the surgeon. I don't know a single one who went and didn't go back. They always go back. Because once you start making adjustments, then you start taking a look at the new you, and you find new things to be insecure about. Insecurity doesn't go away. Confidence is the only cure for insecurity. So don't be deluded into thinking that. The other thing is this idea that male standards influence what women do. If male standards today influence what women did, I wouldn't be doing this program tonight with so many sluts and hood rats complaining about what men's preferences are. They would just go out and do it. But they're not. They're fighting it. We told the women we don't like weaves. But women are said, screw you, I'm lazy, and you'll just learn to love my laziness. We got more weaves than ever, to the point that Asians are out here assaulting them in their stores, and the women are still risking it. That's where we are today.
And women are saying it's for protective style.
No, that once again, we've allowed them to be perpetual children. So when they say silly things to us that insult our intelligence, we allow them to keep going. They just come up with lies on everything. I can't work out because of my hair. I can't swim because of my hair. Oh, this is protecting my hair. Meanwhile, her hairline is moved back till now she's looking like Dammy Ving Rhames. It's silly at this point. And when I'm saying we have a generation of silly girls who become silly adult females, and now that our national discussions have become exercises in silliness, then you wonder why the males are just like, you know what? We're done talking. Now, that's the other thing that they don't like right now. We're done talking. I teach guys to get their weight up. I teach men to get their financial act together because you can show women better than you can tell them. Most guys today are complaining about their prospects because he doesn't have the ability to leverage up for anything else. But when you get your weight up and get your act together, you don't have to argue anymore. You can get what you want, when you want it, how you want it. But you got to have your act together. So that's why I tell them, hey, let's get your weight up. And if we get enough men together, because right now we've had 80% of the boys are being raised by single moms. Single moms are turning them into substandard deficient males who are growing up into substandard deficient adult males, so that when they become grown, they're looking for some other female to coddle and to be her emotional lapdog to, rather than to be her leader. So he repeats the cycle that his mother bred in him. He doesn't ever tell a female no. He's worried about getting her approval instead of the other way around. So he goes out and gets the benefits. He gets the resources and then worry about the female's approval. No, it's supposed to be the other way around. She's the one who's depending on you for the bills to get paid. She's supposed to be needing your approval, not the other way around. So in this environment, the way you see this, that's why it's important. So no, the females are not doing what we're saying. They're actually trying to resist it. Our job is to demonstrate that the benefits outweigh the liabilities if you listen. And inversely, the liabilities outweigh the benefits if you don't. But as far as beauty is concerned, you're all competing against yourselves. You're all competing against the best version of yourselves. And when a man looks at you, just understand, in half a millisecond, we have made all the calculations about what the best version of you is. And how we treat you is going to be directly proportional to the distance between what we see in front of us and what we know is the best version of you. Just that simple. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 931. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, it sounds like you're putting money into a phone machine, into a pay phone. What's on your mind?
Nothing, brother. Shit. One thing I want to mention, though, one of the things they're lacking is this.
Okay, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ben Smoke from Tennessee.
All right, Ben from Tennessee. Where at in Tennessee?
Nashville.
All right, Ben from Nashville. What's on your mind?
Oh, shit. Nothing, brother. But one of the things I want to mention, though, man, that they're lacking and that they're not caring to take care of. First of all, whether ugly or beautiful, is that their coochie is blown out. They can't satisfy a man with a blown out coochie. Stretch from here, damn it, all the way to Montana. No muscle control, none of that.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what Ben is talking about, but it is not germane to tonight's program. Caller from area code 225. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? This is Jordan calling you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Straight out the boot. What's on your mind, Jordan?
Yeah, so I kind of always grew up hearing my mom say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I do agree with that as far as like inward beauty, as far as like a woman's character. But I most definitely agree with the majority of the callers tonight that, you know, every woman isn't beautiful. And I think it shows in today's generation that people used to, I'm pretty sure like people's parents used to tell their children, like, yeah, you're not that good of a looker, so you need to go be good at other things so you can get you a man or something like that to the women. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, just a soft generation these times, and it's kind of crazy. That's all I pretty much had to say.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. We're going to go ahead and take things down here. We've been on for a while, man. We've been on for a while. We did tonight's program to talk about this heinous story coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta has become a cesspool of deviance and silliness and idiocy, and now they've taken it to a brand new level. They are threatening boys at this school. The boys got together on spring break. They were on spring break. They were out of school, and they're now telling them that they think it should be a criminal violation, that they put together a bracket of who they thought the pretty girls were at their school. And folks got in their feelings when they said who they thought was pretty and who they thought wasn't. And now they're trying to make this look like some criminal thing and telling them the police should be involved. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. For those of you coming here now, you can listen to the beginning of the program and you can hear it for yourselves. This is where we are today, that they are literally trying to bully heterosexual males into saying that you cannot have a standard for what you find attractive. You must find all females attractive. And once again, a very brief reminder, here's a picture of the principal of the school trying to dictate to these young black boys what they should find attractive and telling them that all females are attractive. And this chick right here doesn't even look heterosexual. So it really clarifies what her real goal is, in my opinion. If any of those young men find any type of legal issues or whatever, I want to be on top of that. I want to know who they are so I can find out, hey, we'll be on top of that. But I'm not going to let them sit up here and take their rights away from them. They have a right to say what they like and what they do not. Period. They have a right to do that. They have a right. They have a right to go home and sit in front of their computers and say who the girls they think are cute and who they're not. That's a freedom of speech issue. But there's one more thing I'd like to remind you all about here. Do you understand that Facebook, when we talk about Silicon Valley, please remember, when Mark Zuckerberg started the precursor to Facebook, I think it was called a Face Mash or something like that, that thing was set up simply for the purposes of saying who they thought was cute and who wasn't. When you talk about Silicon Valley was built on sex. It was built on sexual websites. It was built on Facebook, and social media as we know it today was built on saying who we thought the cute girls in school were. And to say that they don't have the right to say what their opinion is about what they like and what they do not, to have the gall and the audacity to say to them that they don't have that right and that you want to involve the police in it, so that you're really going to try to take the intimidation up to that level, because the police have nothing to do with this. But the fact that you would even say that would make these boys think the police can get involved. No, they can't really get involved, but they're trying to invoke that specter because this is how badly they want to try to traumatize you. So I want those young men to know, no, there's nothing they can actually do to you about this, and you have a right to prefer what you prefer. And they're going around these other places, and whole websites were built on the idea of saying who you liked in females and who you didn't. Don't let anyone tell you that they can choose that for you, because they cannot. But this is how far the situation has gotten today, and this is why I'm telling us all, specifically as men, we need to push back. We need to fight back now. We cannot let this go any further because as grown men, understand the next step is for them to start saying that they're going to make it the law that they're going to choose a female for us to take care of for the rest of our lives, even if we're not married to her. Even if we're not married. No, right now it seems far-fetched and ridiculous, but eventually they're going to get to a point where it's like, no, we can do that. We can do that. We will just obligate you to do that. It sounds crazy now, but believe me, what you just heard, they're starting this in high school. They're starting you to just assume that something like that should be okay. The next step is to tell you, hey, we found a chick here that you, as a male, you have to be her sponsor. You know, you don't have to marry her or anything, but you're responsible for her. Understand? I want to thank you all for joining us here on tonight's program here. It's been a good discussion. Harbingers of the future are coming. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program to lay the foundation upon which all your red pill, high-value posers, MGTOW morons, winosphere worms, and the rest of them rip off everything that they talk about. This is the place they all stole it from. So when you hear them say it and you're like, wow, that sounds like Jason, just understand, yeah, they're afraid for a reason. Also, most importantly, share this program. YouTube has us under a shadow ban. That means that they do not recommend us. They do not suggest us. A lot of these other folk who steal my material and then go repackage it, YouTube is suggesting them to my subscribers, but they're not suggesting me to theirs. So YouTube is trying to bury this channel to keep it from getting out because they are afraid of what we talk about. So what do we do about it? You are what we do about it. I want you to share the program. That is how you get around YouTube not promoting it. We get around YouTube not promoting it by all of you doing it for us. This is the only place that gives you a voice. This is the only place that actually says something sensible. So the least you can do is share it. It's something they need to talk about and make it a conversation piece. You don't have to say it. Make it a conversation piece. Let people know where you got the game from. That's what we do here. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.